Hello, Voices of Wrestling listener. Dave Ryan here. Have you ever wondered to yourself how many hidden gems are hidden away inside the last years of World Championship Wrestling? Have you ever asked yourself how many tenuous gags can be made about the name Mike Enos? And have you ever thought about what it sounds like for two Irishmen to interpret a very chaotic company through its B show? The answers to all this and more are just a click away. Check out Days of Thunder every second Thursday on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.
Hello there, my name's Neil David and I'm the host of Eurograps Express, the podcast exclusively dedicated to the wrestling of Europe. If it's wrestling and it happens in Europe and it's good, we talk about it. Whether it's RevPro, Progress, WXW, Passion Pro, Pro Wrestling Chaos, Pro Wrestling North, we don't care, we talk about them all. If it's good and it's exciting, I want to share it with you. We're on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Check us out on the feed. Check us out on Twitter at EuroGrapsEXP. And join us for chat about European wrestling and a little bit of chat about cheese. Hopefully see you there.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Welcome to episode 33 of the Emerald Flow Show. We're a podcast on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Emerald Flow Show, and you can listen to us on all podcast apps. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. And you can go to voicesofwrestling.com/donate to donate to the show if you're feeling generous. I'm Gerard DeTroio here with Paul Vosch. Paul, we've got a ton to talk about, and it seems like our worlds that we cover here have been turned upside down.
Yes, they really have, and they're also intersecting more and more as well. But yeah, there is a lot of things to talk about on this show, and I think there's going to be some controversial takes coming out of the show as well.
Yes, I actually think there will be some controversial takes from both of us.
Yes, I like that's the thing. Like I think regardless of what we say, someone will think it's controversial because there's very clear. Actually, I think my takes might actually on one specific topic I might actually piss off both sides. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, so I mean, we should just jump right in because we haven't been here in a while. So we've got a few shows to cover for each company. And we start off with Pro Wrestling Noah on March 14th at Yokohama Radiant Hall in front of 254 fans, which is a good number for them there.
Yeah, no, that one is a good number. Like I actually looked through... Like, I didn't do, like, a completely exhaustive search because that show gets run by, like, everyone constantly or that venue. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm not going to click on every single, like, actress girl show in the Yokohama Radiant Hall. Like, I don't think that drew more. But from the ones that I picked that were, like, prominent promotions, I couldn't really find anything that, like, drew more than this. Like, there were, like, a few, I think 1 or 2 shows that I could find that drew more than this, but like I think this is also like the best number Noah ever drew in the building. So that one was definitely a good number.
Yeah. So we start off for the first match. Shuhei Taniguchi and Yasutaka Yano defeated Kinya Okada and Taishi Ozawa in 8 minutes and 30 seconds with a flying front cradle from Yano Anozawa. And I mean, it's these opening matches. I'm really enjoying the Noah opening matches now because there's a lot less Funky Express and a lot more of these young guys, plus Taniguchi. So they've generally delivered.
Yeah, no, I like this one as well. But just kind of weird to have Kinya on the losing side here, given that he had a singles match coming up. But then again, so did Taniguchi. So I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it was the rookie that took the fall. So
yeah, exactly.
And next up, Keno defeated Daiki Inaba in 9 minutes and 42 seconds after a referee stop following a right high kick. This was kind of disappointing, I thought, from these two.
Yeah, I kind of expected a bit more as well. But I like that we finally got the Keno just knock someone out with a high kick because we haven't actually had that finish in a while. So like when they sprinkled it in, but aside from that, yeah, there wasn't much to this match.
He knocked out Kaito once, right?
Yeah, he knocked out Kaito twice.
Okay, yeah.
Because he did knock him out last year last year at the January show in the national title match.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right. So yeah, I really do like that finish with Keno, but otherwise it was really underwhelming. It was like, not enough time for these two guys to get cooking and everything like that. Yeah. But next up, this was also...
I also feel like those two could have gotten a good sprint, but I don't know. Yeah, they just... it's Yokohama Radiant Hall and the second match, so...
Well, I would say if you compare it to the other match that was building up the GHC tag title match, we have Manabu Soya defeating Masa Kitamiya in 6 minutes and 59 seconds with a lariat, and I thought this was a nice little sprint between a couple of big boys.
Yeah, no, I think Soya and Kitamiya actually have pretty good chemistry. So I think, like those two just like running into each other, like I think regardless of how much time they get, that's always going to rock.
Yeah, so that was definitely the better of the two matches.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, we have Super Crazy Extreme Tiger and Lancelot defeated Tadasuke, Hajime Ohara, and Hiroki in 10 minutes and 21 seconds with a Spanish fly from Lancelot on Hiroki. Paul, like, where do you fall on this Lancelot thing?
I don't know. Like I said, my opinion still hasn't changed. Like there's so many talented luchadors out there, and like this is the guy that we're getting.
I think he's not as bad as some people say, but yeah, you could probably find more talented luchadors if you want one.
He's definitely not the worst guy to bring in, but just looking at like, for example, like luchadors that are like in other promotions or promotions that have way less money than Noah, that reasonably could like basically, if I'm commander and like the money that Great is offering me and the money that Noah is offering me, I would absolutely go to Noah, right?
Yep.
So
yep.
Yeah.
And then next up, we had Hayata defeating Yoshinari Ogawa in 23 minutes and 54 seconds with an arm lock cutback. Paul, I like this.
Really?
It was obviously repetitive, and it ended with like Ogawa like destroying Hayata's arm for like nearly 25 minutes, and then Hayata winning with a roll up. But I could just watch Ogawa destroy Hayata's arm forever.
Okay, fair enough. I also really like Ogawa, but I'm just like this constant necessity of Hayata just to have like he just has this like compulsory obsession to just go like over 20 minutes, and he just really shouldn't. So,
oh yeah, you could have cut 5 minutes off this match to tell the same story for sure.
Yeah, so like that really bothered me.
I think it would bother. I didn't mind. I'm not going to go and say this is some incredible match. I simply enjoyed it for what it was and didn't mind it, even with the length.
Okay, that's fair enough. But for me, I was like sitting there and being like, can we just wrap this up already, please?
Mm-hmm. And then next up, Chris Ridgway versus defeated Ada in 7 minutes and 35 seconds with a vertical drop brainbuster. These guys, I think, could really have something really good if they got more time. But as it was, This wasn't bad. One of Ada's better singles performances in Noah. As weird as that might sound for a 7.5 minute match.
Yeah, that's definitely an indictment on Ada, for sure. This was fine, but like I said, like I'm gonna get into that a bit more after the title match. But like I'm kind of done with Ada and Noah. Unfortunately, it's probably only gonna be more than less. So.
You're done, but Noah's not.
Yeah.
And then in the main event, Kaito Kiyomiya and Yohei defeated Jake Lee and Anthony Green in 16 minutes and 5 seconds with the Japanese leg roll clutch from Kiyomiya on Green. I don't know if this was quite as good as that tag match between Kaito and the good-looking guys on the last show, but it was another solid match. I continue to say that Green is getting better and better every time out he's in Noah, and so this was a fun little main event.
Yeah, he's becoming like a really good glue guy in these kinds of like tag matches as well.
Yes.
So I think I think he's really like found his role there. I think he's like great at that, and so once maybe you can give him like a push at some point, but I think for now like he's in the perfect spot that he should be in as well.
Yep, definitely. He is the number. I guess. Well, we'll get into this later, but he is the number 3 in good-looking guys right now.
Yeah. And it's definitely, I would say still the number 3 because just based on like heavyweight versus junior distinction.
Yeah, definitely. Now we get to a show where there's much to talk about. Voyage 2023 in Yokohama from March 19th at the Yokohama Budokan. Claimed 1,308 fans. Paul, is this number legit?
No. No. Like, okay, here's the thing. If this number is legit, it's still a failure because they didn't sell any of the premium tickets. Like, if this was an actual 1,308 people in there, they were like up in the nosebleeds and cheap seats. Yeah. And the company didn't, like, you just completely wrongly priced your show here. Like, it's still a failure, even if that number is legit. Because this is the darkest arena I've ever seen.
Yeah, they have the spotlights out.
So absurdly dark. If you just watch the show, it's completely dark. If you see pictures from people that were at the show, it's equally dark. Like, when people that were at the show, like, uploaded pictures on Twitter, it was all, like, you could just see the ring. You could see nothing behind the people. And then, and we will get into it a bit later, but then when Kento comes out later, that's when some of the spotlights, you can actually see some of the, like, hard cam, like, first rows. And there's, like, 5 people there. Like, legitimately 5 people.
Yeah.
It's absurd. And also, like, the crowd was really quiet. Like, I was wondering early on, like, why the crowd was so quiet. And then I see, like, that there's no one in the first rows. And I'm like, okay, so either there's no one here or everyone is just really far away. And that's why it's so quiet.
Yeah. So it's a business failure on whether it's legit or not. Because no one's bought,
So, like, it's a worse business failure if the number isn't legit, obviously. But it's still, like, you still, like, at the best case scenario for Noah is that they got the pricing for the tickets wrong. That is the best case scenario here. Which also isn't great.
No.
But I don't think that's the case. Like, that would be weird. Like, even if you price it wrongly, I don't think it would look this dire. So that's why I'm thinking that, to me, there's no way this number is legit. Which then leads me to think, so what do you think, like, if the number isn't legit, what do you think the actual number is? Is it below 1,000?
900?
Yeah.
900 and something?
Which is what they've drawn there previously.
That's true. But now you've had, Big Japan had the, like, half-price tickets and they drew 1,800.
Yeah.
Stardom drew 1,600.
Yeah.
So 1,300 is like, is a saving face number.
Yeah. Because, like, you get at least close, because you definitely can't lie your way up to, like, 1,600.
Yeah.
Like, 1,300 kind of looks absurd, like, once we actually saw how many people were, like, in the lower area. Because we don't know how, because, like, and that's why I'm always saying, like, when we saw how many people were there on the hard cam side, because that was the only time we ever saw the crowd.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
The crowd, I say, in quotation marks, because there wasn't anyone there.
Mm-hmm. So we start off with the first match. Yasutaka Yano defeated Taishi Ozawa in 4 minutes and 56 seconds with a flying front cradle. Perfectly good opener. Ozawa continues to impress, but, give these guys another 2 or 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a long show.
Oh, yeah. So I get why they didn't get any time, but yeah, I think these two are like improving every time we see them, and I think Ozawa slowly but surely is like filling out that frame, or he's starting to fill out that frame at least. Like, he is going to be a big boy once he actually like gets there. So yeah. I would really like, he is going to be that next project, because I have a feeling that the current project is over potentially.
Yeah. Hand it into the teacher and you failed.
Yeah.
Next up, another angle masquerading as a match. Atsushi Katoge, Yohei, Seki Yoshioka, and Alejandro defeated Shuji Kondo, Tadasuke, Hajime Ohara, and Hiroki in 5 minutes with a horizontal cradle from Katoge and Tadasuke. And then after the match, Tadasuke and Yohei turn on everyone.
Yeah.
And join forces.
Look, I will say, in hindsight, I actually like this angle more than I did when it happened originally. Because A, I know what happened later, like that these two like go on and then join like good-looking guys, and B, that this was also kept to just 5 minutes, because we had something similar happen later, and that one went way longer than 5 minutes. So I actually like, because when it happened originally, I was like, oh, okay, so Tadasuke is out of Congo. Okay, that's gonna be bad for Congo, because now the juniors are kind of bad, like really bad. And then Yohei turned as well, so I was like, okay, so does that mean, so is Tadasuke not out of Congo and Yohei is in Congo now? And I was like just confused. Yeah. But then obviously they explained that by the end of the show.
Yeah. And next up, we had Katsuhiko Nakajima defeating Kinya Okada, and this is the much-awaited rematch from Nakajima destroying Okada's jaw last August, I think. He beat Okada in 5 minutes and 48 seconds with a vertical spike. This was actually pretty good while it lasted, but no, they're not going to give Okada even the revenge of lasting 10 minutes or something with Nakajima.
Nope, he just gets immediately destroyed. I was actually looking up if this was actually shorter than the match they had in the N1, but no, it was actually slightly longer, but only by like 2 minutes. So I really thought that this might be like a thing where they're gonna give Kinya a win and we're off to the races, but yeah, I don't know.
Or even a respectable showing.
Yeah. I will hold out hope for them pushing Kinya Okada until he retires. So
next up, Hideki Suzuki and the debuting Saxon Huxley defeated Muhammad Yone and Yoshiki Inamura in 7 minutes and 55 seconds with a neck-hanging bomb from Huxley on Yone. Huxley sucks.
Oh God, he's so bad.
He's so bad. He's absolutely the worst foreigner they brought in.
Okay, who's worse, Saxon Huxley or Gianni Valletta?
Valletta has more like weird ass charisma than Saxon
that's
Huxley.
the thing. Yeah, because Valletta is really like I think like mechanically speaking, Valletta is worse.
Technically, yes.
Yes, but like he has way more charisma.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Saxon Huxley just looks like a shitty Bruiser Brody cosplay, but has like literally not like an ounce of charisma.
No charm.
No.
He's like, actually, I would say I was gonna compare him to like Sylvester Turkey, but eventually he developed charisma.
Yeah, he's just tall.
Yeah,
like that. That's literally all. That's literally all he has going for him. But yeah, I really hope that this guy isn't the Fetcher replacement. Like the Noah uploaded the faction alignment chart, like the updated version, recently, and on that one, like Fetcher was still listed. So I'm holding out hope that this is just like Huxley comes in for the store and then some point Fetcher will actually come back.
I would say wait until after the Ring of Honor pay-per-view to see if Thatcher comes back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if he actually pops up there and does something, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But I don't know. I have a feeling he might be gone. Next up, Shuhei Taniguchi defeated Takashi Sugiura in 11 minutes and 43 seconds with a face kick. I mean, this is exactly what you want it to be. Two old guys beating the shit out of each other. But then Taniguchi got like the surprise win, which got like some ooze from the crowd and everything. He no-sold an Olympic slam and did the punt kicks.
Yeah, I actually really love this one. I actually went 4 stars on this one. I was actually like, holy shit, this is like just too like, this is just old man on old man violence basically. And this, I mean, which we actually got another example coming up later in the show as well. But yeah, no, I thought this was great. I thought these two, like, I was really surprised that Taniguchi got the win here. So I hope finally that means that they're actually going to do something with him, which I was hoping they were going to do when they took him out of Funky Express and then he didn't do anything. So like, I hope this is like going to lead to something.
I thought it is leading to something.
Yeah.
So finally we've got, we'll talk about that in a minute. It has to do with the tag. They're going to challenge for the tag titles.
Oh yeah, right. I completely. For some reason, something happened afterwards, but that kind of erased that happening from my mind.
Yeah, exactly, right. But no, I mean, I'm glad to see that they're doing something with Taniguchi and Sugiura is like now a tag title guy,
which I think is perfect for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get a GHC title challenge once and again, but maybe he doesn't want to put a certain someone over right now. Next up, Jack Morris and Anthony Green defeated Naomichi Marufuji and Hio de Dr. Wagner Jr. in 13 minutes and 23 seconds with a Tiger Driver from Morris on Wagner. Apart from a botch towards the end, I thought this was solid, and I actually really liked how Green and Marufuji worked together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it said, like, there was a bit of a botch at the end where I think Morris lost Wagner on a powerbomb a bit. But otherwise, this was really solid, and I think did like a nice job of like setting up the title match between Morris and Wagner. And
I think Morris should win, actually.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Morris is winning that one because Wagner had a great title reign, and I think he was really elevated with that reign. Like, if you take that title off him now, like, I think he actually comes out better than he was coming in. Like, I think you could actually like have him challenge for the heavyweight belt coming out of this.
Oh, for sure. And then next up, we have Extreme Tiger and Lancelot defeated Amaska and Ninja Mac in 10 minutes and 16 seconds with the broken bomb from Lancelot on Amaska. I thought this was perfectly fine. I thought Amaska and Ninja Mac carried the match. Extreme Tiger's a solid hand. And, you know, Lancelot does his thing, but he's not great, although I don't think he's quite as bad as some people say. But we're getting Lancelot versus Amaska for the junior title.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this crowd wasn't really super loud for obvious reason, but like this finish got legitimately like silence. Like, there was no one that reacted to this. Like, Lancelot is not over at all. I mean,
no, because it's not as spectacular as some of the other
exactly.
guys.
Like, there's so many. Like, he just gets outshone by so many people. Like, I mean, but hey, look, if he gets his chance. Like, I don't think he has any chance of beating Amaxa, so he just gets the chance to prove himself in a big singles match, and then if he actually does well in that, then okay, he can stick around. If not, then it's bye-bye and see you later.
Yeah, I mean, this is Super Crazy's nephew.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
No, but that's why he gets this chance. But I also don't think, like, if he actually shits the bed against the champion, that they're going to be very interested in bringing him back.
Yeah. And then next match, GHC tag team title, heavyweight tag team titles. Masa Kitamiya and Daiki Inaba defeated Keno and Manabu Soya in 21 minutes and 44 seconds with a diving senton from Kitamiya on Soya to make the first defense of the titles. Paul, I thought this was pretty damn good in the match of the show. Just the sort of like, you know, Soya and Kitamiya beating the crap out of each other and lots of fast-paced action from Keno and Inaba. It just worked together. I thought the last few minutes were great.
Yeah, no, this was also my favorite match on the show. Like, I also went 4 on this one as well, but I preferred like slightly to the Taniguchi Segura match. I was also a bit surprised with the result as well, because as I kind of suspected, like, Keno and Soya like were gonna win like another set of titles. So I thought they were just gonna do the whole thing where like Keno and Soya hold like both belts, but yeah, they just hold one set of titles. But yeah, no, like, this match was really good. I think Inaba and Kitamiya have like started to like gel really, really well as a team. Like,
yes, and I'm glad that they're getting an actual run and not just transitional champions.
Yeah. I'm getting like similar vibes off of them that I'm getting off of Bishamon in New Japan.
Yes.
I think they have like a very similar kind of like chemistry and like structure. So yeah, no,
maybe that's why they got put together.
It might also be, and I mean,
we have Bishamon at home.
Yes, no, I think that's very much the feeling I get out of them. It's like, we have Bishamon at home, but like, Bishamon is great, so I'll take we have Bishamon at home. So no, this was really exciting, and I think actually like one thing that is like really kind of not really talked about as much with Noah, because of, well, look at everything else going on in the promotion, is how just consistently great their tag team title matches are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm actually like trying to think when it's like the last tag title match was that I didn't go 4 stars on, because they're all great, like, constantly. I
would say the problem is it's like hot potatoed often.
Yeah, no, it is, but like, if you get like like, for example, if you actually have like a bit of a longer reign, like we had with Kojima and Segura, like, that was really, really great. And I think some of the other hot potatoing that was going on kind of during the summer, like, the title was also a little bit cursed last year, like, especially early on.
True.
Where, like, people constantly got injured or like kicked out of the country.
Or stole some protein powder.
Yeah, exactly. So like I can't really blame them for that hot potatoing. Like, a lot of that wasn't actually their fault. So, but like, even regardless of that, the matches just like constantly just deliver banger after banger after banger. Like, even like the Marufuji, like, Muto title matches I actually like, because I think they actually had a formula that worked for both men at this stage of their career. So yeah, like, if there's one thing that I can say Noah's consistently great at, it's these tag title matches.
Definitely. And then next up for the GHC Junior Heavyweight
Talking about tag title matches that Noah is constantly not great at.
Yoshinari Ogawa and Eita defeated Hayata and Chris Ridgway in 25 minutes and 29 seconds with a figure 4 pinfall from Ogawa on Ridgway for their second defense of the titles. I mean, I didn't think this match was bad. I mean, I kind of liked it. Like, I don't know, like a 3.5 or something. But then, obviously, there was all sorts of nonsense at the end. Hayato and Ogawa reunited. And they went off together, even though Ogawa and Eita are the champions. So, once again, it's absolutely no sensical booking in here.
Yeah. And I think it actually is that, like, all of this happened after a 25-minute match.
Oh, Paul, we forgot to talk about what happened after the tag title match. So the most over person in the building came out to confront Masa Kitamiya.
Oh, yeah, right. Kento, yeah.
Paul, the reaction for Kento. That was an incredible...
Here comes this guy that's not from this promotion. He's more over than anyone on this promotion.
Who hadn't wrestled in this promotion for like 10 years prior to the Muto Dome show.
He's more over, including the other guy that used to be in the same promotion that is winning the title at the show.
Just the chance and like, oh my God. Of
course, there definitely seems to be a lot of people at this show that watch All Japan and sure shit didn't make noise for Jake.
They knew who Kento was, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe they only started watching All Japan in January.
Oh, that's sort like... Paul, do you think someone at Cyberfight is ready to like drive a Brinks truck up to Kento's place?
I mean, they should.
Come next year.
They really should.
We'll talk about more about that later. Okay, but yes, back to the junior tag title match. Why did this go so long? I don't know. Hayato was in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why this went as long. Like that, and that's actually why, like, I think actually in hindsight, I disliked the match even more. Because I thought it was kind of boring. Like, I did like some of the stuff of like Ridgway and Ogawa, like those two are great. But like, otherwise, I don't think there was a lot to it. And then when they did the whole fucking nonsensical stuff after the match, I'm like, okay, so you did this after the match, after Ogawa and Eita fall apart, after they win the match, and it took 25 minutes. You did the 25-minute match only to basically make the result of the match completely meaningless. So what you're selling me is you wasted 25 minutes of my life.
That's true. Also, we might be in a situation where they vacate the tag titles again.
Yeah.
Because the partners can't get along.
Yeah. They kind of have to, unless they just make up again, because we just did this storyline with Hayata and Ogawa not that long ago.
Yeah, so... and then finally it was announced that Eita is going to become a freelancer but still wrestle in Dragon Gate.
Yeah.
Which of course means more Eita and Noah.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised, but like what was the point? Like what's the point of him going freelance? So he can do even more Noah dates, or he doesn't have to clear his booking in Noah through Dragon Gate, or what? What do you think?
That's the feeling I got. Like, what I think should be happening is that both Dragon Gate and Noah should just agree to stop, like, to finally let this man go to Mexico. Because it's very clearly what he wants to do. He just wants to be an indie scum in Mexico. He didn't even want to come back from Excursion, and Dragon Gate basically forced him to come back. And I think the only reason he's still in Japan is because Japanese promotion keep paying him money to be in Japan. So he's like,
right.
sure, why not? I'll take the money. It's more than I can make in Mexico. But like, I feel like his heart just very clearly isn't in it. Just let him go.
Well, he can go now, but he seems to keep taking the paydays. So I don't know. We'll see.
Blame him. I would. Like I said, Noah probably like those Noah days probably pay pretty well. Like he's in the semi-main event.
Yeah,
more often than not. So he probably makes decent money as a freelancer for Noah.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. But he can go to Mexico now if he wants, I suppose.
Really hope he does.
Okay.
I would actually probably... Here's the funny thing. I probably would enjoy him in Mexico, because I think he would fit in like incredibly well. And like, I'm just completely done with this version of Eita, because he just doesn't put in any effort.
Right. So we are then go to our main event for the GHC Heavyweight Championship. Jake Lee defeats Kaito Kiyomiya in 35 minutes and 36 seconds with a skewered front high kick. Kaito fails on his V5 defense, and Jake Lee becomes the 42nd GHC Heavyweight Championship champion. Paul, I've seen all sorts of takes on this match. It went too long, but I didn't mind it. I thought Jake looked pretty good. He was trying to project himself more. You can debate how well he does it, but he was trying. And I didn't think it was quite as boring as some people were claiming. But I wouldn't go out and put this on any match of the year list or anything.
I thought it was just kind of there. It was just kind of boring. I think it was definitely Kaito's worst title match.
See, I thought Kaito was awesome in this, and I thought the last few minutes were great.
Oh, yeah, the last few minutes were great. Like, Kaito sold that knee like he got shot in the gut. That was legitimately good. But it was also like this weird match structure.
And the high kick in the corner he sold like he was,
yes.
Yeah.
No. Like, the Kaito really, like, sold, like, I mean, that's always the thing that he's been really good at selling. So, like, I can't fault him there. But again, like, it was basically a 35-minute squash. Because Kaito barely got any offense, and like Jake just like dominated him for 35 minutes and then won. Like, it's not even that Kaito got like all that much like offense at the end to make you think he was mounting a comeback. Like, Jake just beat him up for 35 minutes and then won. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I just thought this was leading somewhere, and then kind of just led to Jake winning. So, like, I thought the match structure was weird, and it just went on for way too long. And yeah, I don't like there wasn't really anything to it, and it probably to me was also hurt by the fact that like the crowd also didn't really seem to be into it as well.
No, but they sort of woke up towards the end.
Yes,
but...
no. Like I did like the finish. That's why I'm not saying like this was like actually like bad, but it was just kind of there. Like, it was to me, it was definitely like, aside from the finish and like Jake, like if this ends with Kaito just like defending the title, I don't think anyone would really remember this match.
Okay, that's a fair point. Yes, you're right. If Kaito had won, definitely not. Okay, well then we got to talk about Kaito. How do you solve a problem like Kaito? Is this? We'll start with the character. Is this leading to another character change?
It should. I mean, okay, here's the thing. It should, in as so far as, like, what else are we doing here? Like the way this whole thing has been done, like, you have to change his character now. Like, I don't think it makes any sense for him to, like, just stay the same guy, and because then he looks even worse. But, like, I mean, that's the other problem. Like, and that's one of the things that is with, like, the current status of Kaito is... Because he's seventh on the all-time list of like GHC like champions in terms of like days holding the belt. Like, he's ahead of Marufuji now, right? Like, this is not a guy that is coming up. Like, this is a guy that is by all
should be established, but not
by all statistical like measurements in like all kayfabe statistical measurements is there. Like, if he had defeated Jake here, he probably would have pulled ahead of Jun Akiyama and Takayama in terms of days, right? Like, at that point, he's fifth in the all-time, like, GHC, like, title holders. Like, he's a two-time N1 winner, or, like, N1 in Global League or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like, he's a two-time tournament winner as well. So, like, this shouldn't be a guy that still needs to find his character.
No.
He should have his character, and it's that character that he would do, like, variations on over time to keep things fresh, but he should have a character. He shouldn't have to, like, completely reinvent himself, which is probably what he needs to do now.
Yes, I think he does. Once again, he's got to change up his look and everything after this one.
Yeah, so, like, to me, and that might be, like, and to be fair, some of this is, like, also because they might have tried to push him a bit too early. Because what I also wrote down as well is, like, comparison between Kaito and Yuma. Because I think those are, like, very good comparable guys because they're of similar age. Like, they both kind of started in the promotion when the promotion was in really dire straits. Like, stabilized, the promotion have like stabilized a lot more since then. But both have gone down like very different paths when it comes to like.
Well, Yuma's still an up and comer.
Exactly, that's what I mean. For example, like, would this entire discourse around Kaito exist in the same way if this was, let's say, Kaito's first title reign?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, if this had just been his first title reign, or if he hadn't even won the title yet, like the whole Muto thing, right? The whole Muto thing happens before Kaito ever wins the belt. I think there's still discourse about it, obviously, but I don't think it is done with the same ferocity.
No, because he had like a year-long reign and then has been
Exactly.
He struggled for so long after. That's just bad booking.
Yeah. So like some of this is obviously like on Noah completely because like they tried to do this early title reign, and I think the title reign was good, but then just everything they did after was not like, it was something that you can do with someone like Yuma Aoyagi at that point, but it isn't something that you can do with someone like Kaito who just comes off of like a year-long title reign.
Well, right, but this is also the problem with Kaito is that like he can't be like at 26 years old or whatever, he can't say that's not going to work for me, brother, because he doesn't have any of that seniority and he's dealing with wrestlers like more than twice his age.
Okay, true, but but I think still like the extent to which it happens with him as well is also like I think somewhat on him as well, because he can push back against like everything, but I don't think he just has to like take all of it laying down and like with the like body language and everything that he deals with it as well.
Right, he does look like a deer lost in the headlights sometimes.
And again, he's a 2-time champion. He has held the title for 500 days. Like he shouldn't look like this anymore. Like obviously like his like self-conscious and everything, like his self-confidence and everything, like has been like fucked with like majorly by like people in the promotion. But I think there's still like, again, he still has gotten accolades in kayfabe that should show him that like he is like a big deal, that like he shouldn't have no self-confidence. Like, should it be a bit cracked? Like, it shouldn't be obviously like at the same place like it was for like someone like Okada at the same time, because Okada just got everything he could ever want. Right. So obviously he was just bursting with just.
Well, yeah, okay.
confidence.
So let's just compare. Like, Okada is how you make a star. I don't care what anyone wants to say. What everyone wants to come up with these convoluted stories about Kaito overcoming everything. No, that is a formula to make a star. And might I add, when New Japan made Okada, they had a lot less main eventers. It was like really just Tanahashi.
Yeah. Which is
Whereas
why that
Noah
was
had
the feud for like 4 years.
4 years. Whereas, they sort of Nakamura. Well, no, because Okada and Nakamura only really had that one match in the G1 finals of 2014.
They never had a title match.
Yeah. So, but in Noah, you have Muto, you have Fujita even, you have, I mean, he beat Sugiura and Marufuji and even Go and all on the first time. But you still had those old guys that should have been used to actually definitively put him over.
Yeah. And that obviously wasn't done. But again, like, I think I don't think, like, for example, him, like, I like the title reign overall in terms of, like, matches and everything. But I also didn't feel like he was this, like, super confident guy coming out of the first title reign. Which, I think that one went well. And then that led straight into, like, the really great Go title reign.
Yes.
Like, it's not like he was, like, bursting with, like, confidence and then he runs into the Muto feud. And
I mean, he is so much... I mean, I don't want to say he was bad. He was not bad. He was very good, especially for his experience level in that first title reign. But, like, that... I always think back to that match in Sumo Hall against Keno. It was just Keno kicking his ass for half an hour. And then him making a comeback. And that's, like, actually one of their weaker matches, I think.
Yeah. And I think, like, in general, like, that was also, like, last year, and I wrote that in my review afterwards, on the New Year's show last year, when they did Keno versus Kaito in the national title match. And that one ended with Keno knocking out Kaito, like the same way he did like when they had like their heavyweight title match way back when.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, well, it just feels like Kaito just hasn't like progressed. Like he's just back to square one essentially.
Well, I think the knockout would have been a more effective ending if you hadn't already geeked out Kaito.
Yeah, because that was after he had already done like all of the Muda stuff and everything.
Exactly, yeah.
But then like again, like then he like wins the N1 and then he wins the title and he gets a pretty decent title reign, and yeah, like he still doesn't really seem like he progressed in any way. Like I don't feel like he feels closer to.
Oh, he
like,
added a shining wizard
ace.
to his. He added a shining wizard and dragon screw to his repertoire.
Great. So he went from Misawa cosplay to Muda cosplay. Like, that's still my problem. Like we don't know who Kaito Kiyomiya actually is. We know who he likes. We know which wrestler he likes and likes to emulate. We don't actually know who he is, though.
Nope. And he's still sort of portrayed as like a kid.
Yeah, which again is absolute nonsense in kayfabe.
Yeah, exactly. It's so many things that just make no sense, and it's sort of clashing with each other. So, Paul, we learned last night Kaito is accompanying Muto to the United States for the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So, what do you think he's going to do there?
Well, I don't know. He's dipping his toe in the waters to see if he can go. I'm positive of it. Whether or not WWE takes him, I don't know. But you know what? I don't blame Kaito if he goes, and it's probably in some ways might be the best opportunity for him if he goes. I mean, again, he's only 26, 27. He goes. He might not even last 4 or 5 years, but let's say he lasts 5 years. Mm-hmm. He can come back a bigger star and reset himself. But I'm not particularly confident about his chances in WWE. Would he do better than Kushida and Jiro? Sure. Would he do better than Nakamura? Most likely not. And he's not that tall. He's 5'11". He looks fine. He looks sizable in Noah, but won't in WWE. Oh, and Vince is back.
Yeah, exactly. Like that company's always been hella racist against Japanese people, and with Vince back, like Nakamura is your like top tier, like best case scenario as a male Japanese.
And they haven't used him in months now.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I don't think there's any chance in hell.
And Triple H, who went out and signed Sari, well, that failed. Mm-hmm. Even though she could have been protected in NXT, but they fucked that up too.
Yeah, I mean, just gave her fucking Japanese. Like, that's what I mean. Like, they gave her Japanese schoolgirl fucking gimmick. Like, Jesus
transforming
Christ.
into Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Okay, let me read to you a bunch of results. Gets defeated by Scripts. Defeats Javier Banel. Gets defeated by Trick Williams. Gets defeated by Scripts, gets defeated by Javier Banel, loses a battle royal, gets defeated by Miles Bourne, and beats Javier Banel. Who is this?
That's Jiro?
That's Jiro. That's like Jiro's last 8 matches. Most of which were not even on NXT.
Jiro hasn't been...
They're on NXT Level Up.
Wow. Well, when was the last time Jiro even wrestled on Level Up? Or even a house show on the Largo Loop?
None of these were from 2023. The last one is from the 14th of December, 2022.
Yep.
Where he lost in 4 minutes.
Yeah. But still, generally, these people go back to Japan with their stock raised. Because the media treats it like a big deal that they've wrestled in WWE.
True, but yeah, I don't...
Do you know how big Takeshita will be?
Oh, yeah,
given the way that he's treated?
Yeah, but exactly. But that's also like he's actually getting treated well.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, a couple years could refresh Kaito.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's my take on this. I don't think he's actually doing that. I don't think he's actually trying to get into WWE. And here's my reason why. So, from an objective standpoint, you absolutely go with Muto to the Hall of Fame to try and get your foot into the door with WWE, to make some money, raise your profile, come back to Japan as a bigger star. That is absolutely the logical thing to do here, to refresh yourself because you've kind of run into a complete fucking wall in Noah kind of thanks to the guy that's taking you to WWE, but that's besides the point. So from all of that, that is absolutely the logical thing to do. It would be really embarrassing and just really kind of a bad thing for yourself to do, to just go to Japan to wheel around an old man for his Hall of Fame introduction and carry his bag, especially if you're supposed to be the ace of the promotion. Now, when I'm telling you that Kaito Kiyomiya is potentially doing something related to Keiji Muto that makes him look like an absolute fucking geek and makes him look absolutely terrible, instead of the logical thing that would benefit him in terms of his career, which one do you think is more likely?
Fuck, I don't know.
I think he's actually, I know that sounds stupid, I think he's actually going there to carry his bag. Like, just straight up.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible, and I don't want to admit it. I at least want to think Kaito has some backbone and is trying to salvage his career, but who knows? He might just be going to be the bag boy.
Yeah, like, he's the new Kai. Like, talking about another guy that very nearly got his fucking career derailed by Keiji Muto and literally had to go to Dragon Gate.
Kai did not put his career back into place until in his late 30s, and he turns 40 this year.
Yeah, and he had to go to Dragon Gate to do it.
Well, I mean, that's a sizable promotion.
That's not what I mean. Like, it's not like that. This wasn't like a knock on Dragon Gate, but it's like
no one would have figured Kai in Dragon Gate, a former Open the Dream Gate champion, 5 years ago, even.
No, he had to like completely remove himself from the Muto orbit as much as possible. Like, he had to like go to Dragon Gate, which like he's really tall for a Dragon Gate guy. Like, and he also wrestles a style that is very much unlike it. So it is actually surprising that it worked out. But I think that's actually why that worked out for him. And like, it's so clear that he just regained his confidence there after Muto just fucking just like he did all of the same things to Kai that he did to Kaito, including the nonsensical gimmick changes, emulating other wrestlers.
Well, and Kaito was, Kai was even more of Muto's boy because he's like a dojo boy.
Yeah. You know who wasn't on, and now it makes more sense that Kai, he was on the Muto retirement show, but like, he didn't want any, and also that probably Sanada didn't want anything to do with that retirement show.
No, Sanada, definitely not. So.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, if I'm Kaito, I'm just like, Muto's retired, like, if I'm Kaito, I'm just looking at the fucking, like, just array of broken toys left behind by Muto that had to like go other places to like rebuild their career and just take a lesson from that, but then maybe not do it in the place that this guy is taking me to.
Yep. Nope. Gotta distance yourself from him for sure, but Kaito might be a little more naive than we think, or he is.
I think just one more thing though on him, if he actually stays. But talking about a character change, should he turn heel?
No, because I think he would be not a very good heel.
True, but again, that's kind of where my comparison with Yuma comes in. I think Yuma's heel run wasn't very great either, but I think like leather jacket wearing Yuma heel run for 6 months, while it wasn't really a big success, I think was kind of an important step for him in terms of character development.
I agree, and I think Yuma could be a great heel down the line if he wanted to be.
But again, like I think sometimes, like I think there's nothing that indicates that Kaito would be a great heel. But I think you at least need to do something here. Like if he stays, you just need to do something to freshen him up. And I think just going just completely against the grain and just turning him heel and see what happens. Let's see if it works. If not, whatever. But like I think you at least have to like try.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I mean, at this point, throwing something against the wall and seeing if it sticks is not the worst thing that could happen to Kaito, even if I'm somewhat skeptical. But, I mean...
It can't be any worse than what he's done so far.
Yeah, that's true. And, Paul, now that we're done talking about Kaito, we would be remiss if we did not talk about Jake. What about Jake? So I have a take about this, and my point is, if you're going to try with Jake and Noah, it was now or never. I don't think Jake would have benefited. If Jake had lost this match, I don't think you could have kept him in the main events.
No, if he loses this, he's in the same position he would have been in All Japan.
Exactly, and him and like Jack Morris or Anthony Green would be going after the tag titles or something. Now you can debate whether or not Jake should be GHC champion, right? And then that's perfectly legitimate. But they struck while the iron was hot with Jake.
Yeah,
and they're going to go with it. We're going to get Jake versus Nakajima, and I think Jake wins. And I think the long term is Jake versus Go at Sumo Hall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's pretty likely as well. However, I think I've talked about this before. There's one thing I want to happen here. And that is Kento beats Jake for the GHC title. Because
Absolutely.
that is just the absolute funniest outcome from all of this, where it's just like, Jake is like, man, finally I can be my own man. I can come out of the shadow of Kento Miyahara. And it's just, oh, what's that? why do I hear Kento chants? Oh no. It's like a horror movie, and Kento just appears behind him like a slasher.
If Noah management wasn't convinced about putting the GHC title on Kento, they might have been after that show.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about this. Put the GHC title on Kento and put the Triple Crown on Keno.
Yeah.
I think, and have Yuma chase Keno.
Yeah, and then you have go against Kento, and you have him be like, I'm Noah, and Kento's like, oh, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Like, those two would have an amazing payoff. Match.
I mean, talk about Nakajima and Kento. We still don't really have a payoff from Go and Kento either, from Exceed.
Oh, God, that is going way back.
I know.
But yeah, no, I mean, but to be fair, I mean, that's what this whole thing is built around, is Kento airing grievances. With like his former like stablemates and like co-trainees and everything. So
yeah, so
that fits right in.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll talk about where that's going in a very soon, actually. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, after that, the reception for Kento, you know.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the fact that Kento got the reception that he did and that Jake got the reception that he did, like I said, literally, unless the people started watching All Japan in January, there's no reason why Kento, like it just kind of shows both coming from the same promotion, and one gets a way bigger reaction than the other one, and one wins the title and the other one is doing something with Masaki Tamiya.
Yeah. So that is Pro Wrestling Noah. Oh, a couple quick notes. Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf are coming back.
Hopefully they will not wrestle each other for once.
Caught that on commentary. Mark Pickering mentioned that. And we're getting Noah's first women's singles match, also upcoming. It's going to be Maya Yukihi versus Natsu Sumire. Now, I know that Shenshiro Takagi has mentioned like he wants to do like a serious women's promotion instead of an idol promotion. But with all due respect to Natsu Sumire,
yeah.
It's not Sumire, it's like Sumire or something.
Sumire, yeah.
Sumire. She's a gimmick wrestler. I mean, she's great at her role, but she's very different than like Maya Yukihi, who's like a serious ass kicker.
Yeah, that is definitely weird. Where it's like, we don't want like, yeah, I don't know, like she just fits right in Tokyo Joshi Pro, so like that really is no difference.
Yeah, but I mean, I get what they're trying to do. I mean, obviously, like Maya Yukihi is generally very different than the Tokyo Joshi Pro roster and everything like that.
Yeah, with the exception of Yamashita.
Yeah, I would say so, and maybe Miyu Watanabe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's interesting, and I guess that's going to go. So, but I mean, it's like, you know, there are lots of good Joshi freelancers, but I don't know. I don't know why this. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, does it have to be done in Noah? Like, are they going to make a GHC women's title? It just feels like they're doing what they were doing when they were owned by Ledette and copying New Japan with everything.
Yeah, I mean that's very strongly what this feels like. I mean, hey, apparently I read somewhere that apparently like Bailey's contract might be up, so you can bring in Bailey.
So yeah, so that's Pro Wrestling Noah. So we move on to some shockingly greener pastures in All Japan. We start off their show on March 14th at Shinjuku Face in front of 519 fans, which is one of Might be the largest Shinjuku Face crowd since the pandemic for any company, I think.
I think I found like one show that drew more.
Okay.
But I'm not sure of that. But it's definitely like up there. It's either it is the best one since the pandemic, or it's like the second best since the pandemic. Like it's definitely a really good number.
Yeah. Okay, so we start off with Dan Tamura versus Hikaru Sato. They went to a time limit draw of 10 minutes. Obviously, a very solid match. And it was just to set up that they're like coming back together as a tag team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
for
it was
the
fun.
Junior Tag Battle of Glory. Yeah. Jun Saito and Rei Saito defeated Shotaro Ashino and Ryuki Honda in 7 minutes and 11 seconds with a drill-a-hole pile driver from Rei on Honda. This was not as good as their tag title match from last September. It was sort of just there, and it obviously establishing that Gungnir of Anarchy are on a bit of a losing streak.
Yeah.
And we'll get to more to that later in a minute.
Yes, they're on a very heavy losing streak.
Yeah. Next up for the AJPW TV 6-man tag team championship in a decision match. I can't believe they brought these titles back. I actually thought they were going to be dead. Takao Omori, ATM, and Black Menso Ray defeated Black Tiger, Yusuke Kodama, and Masao Hanabata in 9 minutes and 36 seconds with a jackknife hold from Menso Ray on Tiger. They become the 5th champions. Again, nothing to see here. And Black Tiger was awful as usual.
Yeah, hey, at least I got the prediction right.
Well, yeah. So I don't know what they're going to do with these titles, but whatever.
Probably.
I mean, they're for the money mark.
The literal money mark, yeah.
Yeah.
Literal ATM of the promotion.
It would be funny if he called himself ATM Eric.
Well, to be fair, though, what is his actual first name? Because he could just go with that.
You can look it up. I can't remember, but it's like there's a link to his personal website on the All Japan front page.
I mean, he has a cage match profile.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, actually on the cage match they just have him as Carbell Ito. So actually, wait, is it just Ito?
I think it's probably something Ito.
Yeah.
And then next up, we have Yuma Aoyagi, Naoya Nomura, and Atsuki Aoyagi defeating Ryo Inoue, Yuma Anzai, and Oji Shiba in 9 minutes with the maximum from Nomura on Inoue. This was awesome, but it was only 9 minutes.
Yeah, I thought this was, I also thought this was a ton of fun. Like, just went really hard, and could have gone a bit longer, but I also get why they only gave it 9 minutes as well.
Yeah. Next up, Shuji Ishikawa defeated Hokuto Omori in 8 minutes and 26 seconds with a Splash Mountain. I don't know. This wasn't as good as Hokuto's singles match against Kento, but it was all about just establishing Tsuji before the title match, and it was good for what it was.
Yeah, I thought Hokuto would get a bit more in this as well, but yeah, this really was just about Shuji kind of dominating him and just setting him up for the title match, which is fine. And I think Hokuto got to show a bit more in other matches as well.
And now, next up, a special 6-person tag match, arguably what was one of the biggest draws of the show. Suwama, Mayumi Ozaki, and Maya Yukihi, that we were just talking about, defeated Yoshitatsu, Unagi Sayaka, and Saki in 17-17 with a backdrop suplex from Suwama on Yoshitatsu. Now, first of all, this was not as good as the mixed tag in December.
Yeah.
But it was still a lot of fun. For the most part, I thought.
And Suwama took the frog splash.
And Suwama took the frog splash, and Suwama sold for some pretty weak-ass looking slaps from Unagi.
Yeah, those were...
But Suwama will sell for the women.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he has no qualms about doing that. But yeah, those slaps were I was you can lay that in a bit more at Suwama. There's a lot of layers here before you actually hurt him when you chop him.
Yeah. And after the match, it looks like they were teasing some Ozaki versus Unagi.
Which to me would make perfect sense as a main event for the Evolution show.
Yeah, which they still, I mean, that show's in a week and they don't have any other than the 3 matches. And as far as I can tell, it's not being broadcast either on All Japan TV or even pay-per-view or something. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But you need to put put something on there to draw people.
Yeah. And if you ask me, the sexual tension between Yukihi and Suwama continues.
Yes, definitely. Like he was oh yeah, when she whipped him, that was like, he was like, ooh, hey. It was literally like, I hope that didn't awaken something in me. Like, I think it did, Suwama. I think it did.
Suwama's like, oh, I get why Dan likes this so much. I'm assuming we're going to see the Ozaki and Yukihi and Suwama team again at some point in a few months.
Yeah, I really hope so, because they're really like, this is what Suwama should be doing like for the rest of his career.
Agree.
They're so good.
Yeah, he could be like the top intergender wrestler in the world.
That's what they should do with the All Japan like 6-man titles. Like, just put them on these 3.
Actually, yes. That honestly would. I never thought of that actually, and that would actually be a great idea. Yeah. I think
they instantly would have the best title reign just by winning it.
They would instantly have the. They would instantly have the best title reign, and then so we go on to the semi-main event in an interpromotional fight. Kento Miyahara defeated Yoshiki Inamura in 10 minutes and 33 seconds with a shutdown German suplex hold. I mean, I thought this was pretty good. I would have liked to have seen a full-blown, like, longer match between them. You know, Kento's selling was great, but it just felt like, okay. But Inamura was treated in a way, it's just like, oh, Kento's going to hulk up, hit that knee, and then that suplex and win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? I don't think Inamura was quite treated as a big a threat as he could have been. Like, it's a good match, but I just think Inamura should have been treated like a bigger threat.
I mean, yeah, but he isn't a Noah either, so
I know.
But yeah, in general, like speaking in theory, he should be. And I mean, he actually was on the Ota Watch show, so
for sure.
Yeah, but I thought this was good, and I actually was surprised how over Inamura was.
Oh yeah,
because he actually got some pretty decent chance here.
Oh, I agree. And it's shockingly so against Kento.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, like, at least, like, if I'm looking at that and be like, hey, maybe we should do something with this guy.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, he might be part of this interpromotional feud, which is something for him to sink his teeth in.
Yeah.
Too. Next up in the main event for the PWF World Junior Heavyweight Championship, Naruki Doi defeated Rising Hayato in 17 minutes and 16 seconds with a Bakatari sliding kick to make his first defense. Paul, this was awesome.
This was great.
Doi was a tremendous heel, and Hayato's just so damn good now.
Yeah. No, this was awesome. Like, I went 4 1/4 on this. Like, this was the best. Like, out of all of these shows that we're, like, reviewing today, like, this was the best match out of all of them.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah. I love this match. I thought this was great. And, yeah, like, especially because they also kind of fucked up one of the Bakatari sliding kicks. And Doi just kicked Hayato in the face. But I think that really, like, added to it as well.
Well, yeah, it helped it because it gave, like, Hayato some grit. Like, he survived, and then, you know, Doi had to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the fact that he kicked out of that one as well, that was great.
And escape from the muscle bomb, or
the roll-up sequences
bomb.
after the muscle bomb.
Yeah,
those were awesome as well, because I actually bid on some of those. I was like, oh, is he actually going to beat him? It's like, no, okay. But yeah, no, this was just an awesome match. Like, Doi can still go. Like, Doi's just such an amazing heel.
I'm beginning to think you got to get that junior title on Hayato sooner rather than later. To put, you know, another guy at the top of the division up there with Atsuki. Yeah.
I mean, we still don't know what they're going to set up through the tag league. So I think that's kind of going to determine who the challenger is coming out of that. I actually forgot to write that down on the sheet, what happened after the match.
Well, yeah, it's Naoki Tanizaki is Doi's partner.
Mm-hmm. Which, that's really cool team. That's going to be a lot of fun.
And did we have Shiba and Inoue?
Yeah, we talked about that on the last one.
Part?
Because
and the fifth team is, oh my God, who's the fifth team? Oh, it's Ishida and Kotaro Suzuki.
Yeah. Which, that fucking tournament is actually really stacked now.
I know. It's like, could be the best 5-team round robin ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like, I'm trying to think, like, the Junior Tag Battle of Glory, if there was one that was more stacked than this one, maybe sometime.
What was that? There was that year with Shun Skywalker and Masaki Mochizuki. That was 2018.
Yeah, but like there wasn't really a whole lot else in there. I
You'd have to go back a lot. Like
mid.
You probably have to go back to Kaz Hayashi. Yeah.
Like where they had like Kenny Omega and everything. Like I don't know if they did it then. Like that's like the only other time where I think like they had a roster that actually would have allowed for them to have like a really great tournament like this.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like fat in this tournament.
Exactly, like because we don't have like a Black Manta Ray or like anyone like that in there. Who I like, but like these guys are all on like another level.
Yeah, for sure. So that's really going to be, I think, underrated little element thing. And so that was a good show.
Yeah.
The first of a few good shows for All Japan. Then we go to March 18th, Korakuen Hall. All Japan versus Great. 713 fans. Paul, from the looks of it, it looks like they didn't sell that many tickets and there was restrictions. Because if you look at the seating patterns and like the little notices on the floor chairs, like, I don't know. I mean, I am under the impression that it was sold because when these things went on sale, it was restrictions and they wanted cheering on the show because why wouldn't you have cheering on an interpromotional show?
Yeah, that's the feeling I got for this as well. Which is like, that's just going to make things so much more complicated to analyze attendances because now it's like, well, did this show have...
Well, they should do this again.
Yeah, and then see what they draw then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think
maybe
the reactions
have like
were good.
Yes. So we start off with Kaz Hayashi, Yu Yazuka, Commander making his All Japan debut, Michiko Miyagi, and Keiichi Sato defeated Takao Omori, Yoshitatsu, Black Manta Ray, Rising Hayato, and Ryo Inoue in 8 minutes and 8 seconds when Commander uses a modified shooting star press on Manta Ray. This was really the Commander show.
Yeah. As it should be.
And he looked great. And he got over.
Yeah.
From Dynamite to All Japan, which is quite the interesting jump. And I noticed Michiko Miyagi actually never tagged in this match, and she just whipped people with her whatever that was.
Yeah, that's basically all she did. And otherwise, this was really all about just Commander.
Certainly, very unfair of her to be treated like that when she could have been put in a match with Suwama and actually gotten some proper treatment.
Oh yeah, that's true. Suwama would have sold way more for her than Omori did.
Yes.
So no, but Omori, like Commander stuff is just like actually insane. Like that fucking like rope walk into just like the shooting star press of the like top turnbuckle is just like it's actually insane.
Next up, we had Hokuto Omori defeating Jun Tansho in 8 minutes and 15 seconds with the Muso Essen. Short but sweet, really good stuff. And you know, Tansho was a guy that sort of disappeared for a while after Wrestle 1. Or he was in Vamostar. And before Great was created, and I really wanted All Japan to grab him, but they never did.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like him as well, and I thought this match was fun, but actually there is another person from Wrestle 1 that I actually wanted All Japan to grab, but that's for the next match.
And then next up, we have Takanori Ito and Issei Onitsuka, which, if I'm not mistaken, did Onitsuka join Ito's group during this match?
Yes, at the beginning, yeah. They actually, if I remember correctly, they did kind of like invite him to the stable previously, and he turned them down, and then he actually accepted it here.
Okay. I can't remember what the name of that stable
Jan's
is.
family.
Okay.
Which
and
I need to ask, is Jan related to Uncle... What was it? Uncle John? I don't remember. Remember that angle from like years ago in Evolve with Uncle John's family?
I do not. No, I never watched Evolve, or except just a couple matches.
Okay, fair enough. Then it's completely lost on you then.
They defeated Shotaro Ashino and Ryuki Hana in 11 minutes and 2 seconds with a German suplex hold from Ito on Honda. I thought Ashino and well, I mean, all the guys were good in this match, but I thought the Ashino versus Ito stuff was great. But yeah, this was to set up a losing streak, and we'll get into more of that on the next show.
Okay, Gerard, I have a trade proposal for you.
Yep.
Takanori Ito for Shotaro Ashino.
Ooh, I might take it.
Because
honestly,
if we're talking about a Wrestle 1 guy that I wanted to go to All Japan, it's Takanori Ito.
He'd probably fit in a little better.
Fits in so much better. Like size, like just him in there with Honda. Like he just fits in like look-wise and just in the style he wrestles and everything. Like he just fits like a glove in All Japan. Whereas like I don't think Ishino, like if he's great, but he just never fit in the same way because like All Japan is just it is still a size promotion. They just never.
It's where the big boys play.
Exactly. Like I think Ishino would just be much better if he's in like Noah or Great, where like that size isn't an issue, and then Ito is someone where like I think that really benefits him, and he would actually get pushed if he's in All Japan.
It doesn't have to do the goddamn shooter gimmick.
Yeah, exactly. Like I fucking loved his like result title reign, which. Mm-hmm. That was a while ago now at this point, but like he's still below 30. Like I think he's 29 now.
Oh, I thought he was even younger, but that's still. I mean, yeah, Ashino's like 32, 33. So
yeah, no, because he was one of the guys. I think he was one of the first Wrestle 1 trainees actually.
Mm-hmm. So I mean. Yeah, what could have been?
Yeah. No, I think that's why it was also so weird when they brought in like Ishino instead of Ito. I actually kind of expected Ito to come in as well when they brought in Ishino, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. They're bringing in Wrestle 1 guys now, that's great. And then they brought in Honda, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then Ito just never came, and then he went to Great instead.
Yeah. And then next up, we had Minoru Tanaka, Soma Watanabe, and Seiichi Akimoto defeated Naoya Nomura, Hikaru Sato, and Dan Tamura in 9 minutes and 58 seconds when Watanabe pinned Tamura with a drop kick. Paul, Watanabe looked like a wrestler that was treated with respect here. Yeah. When you say.
Yeah. For one. I mean, he definitely didn't look like he got... like, he definitely didn't block punches with his face in this one.
No, I thought this was actually pretty good.
Yeah, no. I mean, Watanabe is a really good wrestler. I just don't get why he wanted to do the whole MMA thing.
Yeah, I don't
Got
know.
really badly embarrassed. Like, I think that's actually going to take a while until they actually can, like, rebuild him.
Oh, for sure. But that was a solid match.
Yeah.
I liked seeing Sato in there with those guys. And Tamura really, I think, works well with the shooters, too.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really, like, that's his style. And he is growing out his beard.
Yes, he is. And then next up, Suwama, Jun Saito, Rei Saito defeated Bulk Orchestra, Hayato Tamura, Kazuma Sakamoto, and Czech Shimatani. I like this a lot, actually, because it was just these big boys running into each other, and then all the Shimatani versus Suwama stuff was actually a ton of fun.
Yeah, when he was just standing between the Saitos and Suwama, that was really funny, like, because they were just so much bigger than him. And the other ones was just big guys just beating the shit out of each other, which is always fun.
Well, it's funny because the Saitos showed up on a Great show before this, and got in the ring and said like, "Oh, you guys are all small. Why are you calling yourselves Bulk Orchestra?"
I mean, it's kind of true.
It is, but they're big and great.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure.
Kazuma and Tamura are large in that company.
I mean, and they also okay, maybe excluding Kazuma, they also have better physiques than the Saitos. So actually,
Kazuma has a better physique than the Saitos.
I think Kazuma would fit in. I mean, yeah, Kazuma and the Saitos actually would fit really well together as a team. Actually, yeah, if you do like switch like teammates, you put Suwama with Bulk Orchestra and you put Kazuma and Voodoo Murderers.
That would work.
Yeah.
I've been told to check out Kaito Ishida versus Kazuma Sakamoto from the Great Show from a couple days ago, and I'm going to check that out actually after we watch this.
Oh yeah, I actually almost like watched that one just before the show, but then I didn't have time. But yeah, I heard that show was pretty good, and they filled that venue pretty well, which also has an amazing name, like Gorilla Hall. Like
Gorilla Hall,
it's top tier.
Yeah.
I really hope they do it.
It looks good.
Yeah. If there's a show in there while I'm in Japan, I'm going out of my way of going to Osaka just for that.
Even if it's an indie scummer show, you should just go.
Yes, exactly. Well, actually, in theory, I should also go if there's just a show in Edion because I didn't go. There wasn't a show in Edion while I was there last time. So maybe I have reasonable grounds to go to Osaka again, because I only saw Osaka Joe Hall, which poor me, but you know.
Yeah, definitely. And then next up we have Kaito Ishida defeated Atsuki Aoyagi in 11 minutes and 58 seconds with a half tiger suplex. This is sort of one-sided with Ishida just kicking the crap out of Atsuki, but I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, this was really fun. And Atsuki is now 0-2 against former Gold Class members.
Okay. So that's something for him to... Well, I don't know if he's going to beat Ishida.
No, I also don't think he's going to beat Ishida. I just thought that it was interesting that his last two like big matches, essentially, like big singles matches, were both against former... basically their last... they were in other factions together as well, Doi and Ishida, but that was the last one before they both kind of left Dragon Gate. Well, Doi didn't really leave, but you know what I mean.
Okay.
But yeah, it was fun. It was a really fun match. I actually would have liked this to go a little bit longer, because I think these two could have a really good longer singles match. I know, maybe we'll see that. Oh wait, actually. Now that I think about it, wait a minute. Yeah, both Ishida and Doi are gonna be in the tag league.
Yeah,
they have to face each other, right? Yeah, it's a round robin tournament.
Yep.
Yeah,
one block.
I mean, he's no longer under contract with Dragon Gate, but still, that is.
Well, I mean, you got the Great and the Dragon Gate guys on that All-Star Junior Festival.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even really count that one. It was special circumstances.
For sure, I guess. But so then we go to the main event. Kento Miyahara, Shuji Ishikawa, Yuma Aoyagi, and Yuma Anzai defeated Shima, T-Hawk, Al Lindemann, and Tetsuya Izuchi in 22 minutes and 15 seconds when Anzai pinned Shima with a German suplex hold. Paul, I have a few thoughts about this match. First of all, I thought Strong Hearts were great heels, but they were just doing a lot of character work, and there was a lot of meandering brawling for the first half of this. Although I did think Izuchi was awesome. I thought the Izuchi versus Kento sequences were great because they faced each other in Great last year and had a nice little match. And I kind of like to see that continuing. Now, of course, the last finishing sequence between Anzai and Shima was awesome. Anzai did 2 Jumbo Tsuruta jumping knees and then hit the German suplex to a great finish and a huge pop. So overall, I thought this match was very good. I just think the first half was a little lacking.
Yeah, true, but I think actually that worked because I think you kind of needed to do that to really establish the Strong Hearts and Izuchi as heels. So yeah. I thought that well. I thought Shima is just a great dickhead heel. He can still turn it up when he wants to. Him actually pretending, him and his entire team pretending to walk out when people were just chanting for Kento at the start of the match.
But that's half shoot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He doesn't Shima doesn't want.
Yeah, because Shima just literally the second there was one person chanting for Shima, he's oh wait a minute. I wonder what he would have done if no one had actually done that. How far would they have gone?
Yeah. So what's interesting, I think, is that technically Great won this 4-3. But Anzai got that big win. Yeah, I think that's how it was all balanced.
Yeah, I think that's how they balanced it out. Where it was basically okay, you can have your big prospect pin basically the biggest star. I think I would say Shima's still the biggest star in the company technically. I mean, he has the most pedigree. Yeah. Let's put it that way. So Anzai can pin Shima, but we win the overall series. So I think, and if I'm All Japan, I'm taking that deal because. Right. Giving Anzai that win, I think, is more important than losing a random 6-man. So that's really good. But actually, you know what I actually really liked in this match was the sequence with Lindemann and Ishikawa.
Yes. Oh yeah. And then he finally got him up for a backdrop.
God, yeah. That because I think again, and that's why I actually thought that they built this match pretty well.
I forgot about that. That was actually another great part of the match. Yeah. Lindemann and Shuji.
Yeah, because they did that whole thing where Lindemann legitimately for 2 minutes just runs into Ishikawa and just is not able to knock him over. And then later in the match, like he gets him up for the backdrop to like a massive pop as well, because they built that up earlier. That is like, yeah, the size difference as well, like, is insane.
That's like is that a bigger size difference than like Suwama and Chihiro Hashimoto? I think so.
It might be. Let me take a look how tall she is.
She's not tall either. She might be 5'2".
I mean, she's definitely heavier than a Lindemann.
Yeah.
So Chihiro is 158. Okay, Jesus. And I mean, I think Lindemann should be taller than that. Not much. He's 160.
Look, Paul, I've walked by Al Lindemann in person. He is a tiny
True.
man.
I have actually stood across from Al Lindemann as well at a J Stage show buying a t-shirt from him. So yeah, no, he's very tiny.
Yeah.
And Shuji Ishikawa is legitimately tall. Like, he's not just like Japan tall, he's like actually tall.
Yeah. So that was, I mean, and then like they all had like mic battles at the end. Paul, we'll do a Champion Carnival preview on our next show.
Okay.
But final A block night in Korakuen Hall, T-Hawk versus Kento. Do you think there's going to be some great politics there?
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's also like, if you want to like, I mean, Kento needs to take some losses somewhere, right? Unless he just runs the block. So I think that's a reasonable one.
Yeah.
So it's basically like, hey, I let myself get pinned by a big prospect. So like, you return the favor and like.
Well, and he's already got a win over T-Hawk too.
Yeah. So I think that one just makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. And then, so finally, we move on to All Japan Dream Power Series 2023 on March 21st at the Oda City General Gymnasium in front of 1,776 fans, 1776.
Very patriotic number.
Very
wrong
patriotic
country,
number.
But very patriotic number.
Into open, and I'm pretty sure that's legit. And that is the best Oda Ward gym number that All Japan has done in these last couple of years of doing Oda Ward gym shows again.
Yeah. No, to me that looked legit as well.
By several hundred too.
Because
I think their last highest was 1,400.
Yeah, because you can put a lot more people into that building as well. So like, that's why, like, and again, like, the upper rows were empty. Like, all of the lower rows, all of the premium seats were sold. So
well, yeah. See, All Japan always sells their premium seats no matter what. It's packing the 40,000 or the 4,000 yen seats at the back.
Yeah, but again, you make your money like selling the premium seats.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, actually filling the building, it's just, that's great for looks, and like, obviously you like that additional money as well.
I mean, it's more money too. Yeah.
No, for sure. But like the question whether or not the show makes money is based off if you sell the people sitting ringside.
Right. Or what was it with the $5,000 seats at Muto Retirement, or like
exactly.
$2,000 seats or something? Yeah.
It's more than a business class flight to Japan.
First off, Oji Shiba defeated Black Mensa-Ray in 5 minutes and 42 seconds with the Ungai Suten. I don't know how to pronounce that. This is good. Mm-hmm. Black Mensa-Ray actually wrestled here. Yeah. He worked over Shiba's arm, and Shiba finally gets a singles win in All Japan. I mean, they're heating him up for the tag league, but I think he's paid his dues, and I think, if he wants to hang around, even just as a freelancer, they'll do something with him now.
Yeah, and I mean, he is a champion as well. I mean, not in All Japan, but he has a belt
of A-Team. That's A-Team belt, right? The independent.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not the A-Team. It's actually a belt that is legitimately a belt for the independent promotions.
Yeah, it started in FMW.
Yeah,
it used to be their junior title.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if he hangs around, I think he definitely you can push him a bit more now. And it seems like his body is holding up as well, which was always his issue in Dragon Gate.
Yeah, I want him to hang around.
Yeah,
I like him.
I think he's great. Yeah.
They do the thing is they got to pad out that junior division, regardless of how good it is at the top.
No, it is. It's a very
right.
thin, but it's yeah, they definitely need more people like him.
It's very thin, but very good. Next up, Hiroshi Tenzan, Yutaka Yoshie, and the greatest X of all time, Satoshi Kojima, defeated Tekao Omori, Yoshitatsu, and Mitsuya Nagai in 10 minutes and 17 seconds with a lariat from Kojima on Omori. And Kojima is the X in the A block, which also means we're getting Kento Miyahara versus Satoshi Kojima.
So looking forward to that. That's going to be so good.
As for the match itself, it was an old man, 6-man. Tenzan looked awful.
So bad.
Awful. Bad. Even was it 2 years ago, Tenzan looked bad, but he could still kind of do stuff. Tenzan can't do anything now. Nothing at all. And he botched the back body drop.
Yeah, and I mean, the only reason he's here was to telegraph it to everyone that Kojima was going to be the X.
Oh, he was over.
Yeah.
Tenzan was over.
Yeah. But here's the thing: if Kojima wasn't doing this whole greatest X gimmick now, is there they actually just announced him for the show, right? It's the only reason they did him as a surprise.
I think so, but I like the gimmick.
No, it is really fun. Like I said, it has it has rotted my brain completely when it comes to X's in Japan now, where I will just default to it being Satoshi Kojima because he has just trained me like I'm a Pavlovian dog.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the stuff between Kojima and Omori in the last couple minutes was the best part of the match. But man, Tenzan's got to retire.
Yeah,
I hate saying that, but he's done.
Especially now that we have full crowds and cheering again, I think you can just
Oh, exactly. He's got to retire within the next year. I think he can get a proper final show.
Yeah, exactly. So you just do a final show. You do it at I don't know, next year's Wrestle Kingdom. You know what? Do it at next year's Wrestle Kingdom because I'm probably going to be there. So.
Or it'll be New Year Dash, or with maybe the ceremony at Dash.
Yeah, exactly. So but I think he also is kind of aware that it's over.
Yeah, and he was waiting.
Yeah,
maybe. And next up, sort of the Junior Battle of Glory tag skirmish thing, Hikaru Sato defeated Rising Hayato in 4 minutes and 7 seconds via pinfall. I mean, they did as good as they could in 4 minutes. Although I did like the end because it was them just trying to roll each other up and then Sato doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it was good for what it was, but basically got no time at all.
But instead, this match got time. Dan Tamura defeated Atsuki Aoyagi in 13 minutes and 15 seconds with a powerbomb. Paul, I went 4 stars on this. This was the best match of Dan Tamura's career. Certainly the best singles match of his career.
Yeah, this was awesome. It was just... And also a surprising result as well. I actually would have guessed that Atsuki was going to win this, but no, then they just give...
I mean, the finals are the finals going to be Sato and Tamura versus Atsuki and Hayato? I mean...
that seems like a very likely outcome, yeah.
And then Atsuki and Hayato win?
Yeah. What do you actually get for winning this tournament?
An All Asia tag title shot.
Okay. Well, okay.
That's what they've gotten in the past.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you got in the past. We'll see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this tournament. And now even more so. I'm actually wondering, do you do something with Dan coming out of this tournament?
Well, maybe you could. I think him versus Doi would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually.
So I'm actually wondering, is he because you were talking about putting the title on Hayato, but maybe does it also get close to the time when you can actually pull the trigger on Dan as well?
Well, I feel better about Dan than I did even a couple of months ago.
Yeah, he's freshening up his look. I think I actually can he has a more serious ass kicker.
And I think his work has improved in the last couple of months.
Really ever since he won that, I think really ever since he won that All Asia title, I think that's really done wonders for him. Obviously the reign wasn't long, but I think that just gave him a massive boost of confidence.
Paul, Dan seems to have a number of women and children fans.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I wouldn't have pegged it, but he does.
No, I mean, for children, it's because he's until very recently, he was the lovable underdog. And then, yeah. For the women, I don't know. I'm definitely not the expert on that.
But no, I've seen women in Japan on Twitter posting their pictures before the shows with Dan.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's anywhere as big as the Aoyagis or Kento, but he's got it, right? And that's important these days.
Oh, for sure.
In Japan to have that that diverse fan base, right?
I mean, was it
Kids,
recently that
like Kento's got kids and he's got women too,
Yeah.
right? You need that.
Yeah, I mean, those are the people that buy your merch. So, I mean, wasn't there recently that picture from the fan club meeting, and it was like the Aoyagis, Hokuto Omori, and Rising Hayato, and it was like 95% women.
Anzai
Yeah.
and Kento. Yeah, it was those 5. Yeah, and it was like 80 maybe.
Yeah.
But still, yes, overwhelmingly female.
And apparently, like the All Japan fan club won like some sort of award because they put up a picture on Twitter with like Kento and Anzai like holding the trophy.
So yeah, they're making moves. I mean, this is all their like plan to like obviously clearly like, build a fan base. And we'll talk about that in a bit, actually. But yes, absolutely, Dan's best match, and the boy is becoming a man in front of our eyes.
Yes, really shedding a tear. I mean, we've literally been watching him since this fucking first match.
With his red mohawk.
God,
It's funny because there was a while there where I thought Dan was like the best one, and then I thought he fell behind the other two.
Yeah, no, same. I remember I thought I reviewed that show on Voice of Wrestling, but I definitely wrote it somewhere after the tournament where Dan won. I was like,
yeah.
I actually, like, the way I ranked them back then, I actually ranked Atsuki as, like, the worst.
Oh, so did I. Yeah, he just was very bland.
Yeah, but then he, like, literally right after the show was when he, like, started doing the high flying. Like, he just immediately proved us wrong, like, instantly, like, a month later. And then he just, like, blew past everyone, and now everyone is... Like, now they're actually catching up to him. Like, now they're actually, like, it's leveling out again, but now all of them are great.
Well, yeah, and Hokuto's moved up to heavyweight, too. And then next up, speaking of Hokuto, Minoru Suzuki and Hokuto Omori defeated Jun Saito and Rei Saito in 10 minutes and 33 seconds with a gotch-style pile driver from Suzuki on Rei. Okay, listen, I like this match. Suzuki sold for the Saitos and took bumps for the Saitos. Suzuki probably took more bumps in his matches in this match than he did on his like U.S. indie tour.
I mean, that's not hard because he took bumps.
That's a very low bar. What?
Yeah, so he took any. So I think that's already more, but yeah. No, I actually like this match as well.
And Suzuki putting Rei in the Gotch style pile driver was like impressive to watch.
Yeah.
So I like the match for what it was.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was anything special, but it was like, I mean, I thought it was the perfect length as well. Like 10 minutes, in and out. Like everyone did their stuff well. I think Omori kind of looked good as well.
Yep.
I think I'm actually looking like which Saito is in his block. I don't remember.
I can't remember which Saito was.
Yeah, but like I actually think like him and the Saito could have like a decent match on the carnival.
Yes. And then next up, Suwama and Kono defeated Shotaro Ashino and Ryuki Honda in 9 minutes and 4 seconds with a backdrop suplex from Suwama on Ashino for the millionth time. It's really not that many, but it's like always high-profile jobs that make me like recoil when Suwama pins Ashino. And then after the match, the Saitos come out, and then it's 1992 Undertaker because the Voodoo Murders put Ashino in a body bag and carry him to the back of it.
Yeah, he didn't even
Or
come out
the
after
Saitos
the main
carry
event.
the body bag.
Like that's the thing. Like Honda just like after the main event when all of the like Champion Carnival like participants come out, Honda is just there, just being normal after his tag partner just like got murdered or abducted at the very least. He's just like, I don't really care.
Kidnapped. Yeah. Paul, is Shino being inducted into Voodoo Murders?
Maybe.
Are they ditching Kono and reuniting Runaway Suplex, but in Voodoo Murder form?
I guess. I mean, Ashino is just a better heel. Like that was like the thing on the Great Show as well. It just brought it across just like so much more. Like how much better Ashino just is as a dickhead heel. Like when he just took Issei Onitsuka and he just fucked him out of the ring. That was like,
oh, he threw him over the top rope.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Like that was like the best spot on the entire show. So,
oh, for sure.
I mean, Voodoo Murderers, I mean, I don't know. But if a Ashino heel turn, I think is definitely a good idea. So,
But should it be in Voodoo Murders? And
Yeah, exactly. That's my problem.
But it just feels like Ashino's been all over the place. How many times has he turned? Or how many factions has he been in and tag team? I don't know. But I mean, he's not the only one that gets like thrown into different scenarios.
And I mean, let's not forget that the way Suwama joined Voodoo Murders is in the first place was by turning on Ashino.
Yeah. So dumb.
Yeah. But I guess maybe what I was thinking about that one is like, does this mean that maybe like if they're breaking up Ashino and Honda because they want to like do something with Honda as a singles guy?
They should.
Yeah.
Well, they might need to. We'll talk about that in a minute, actually.
But they didn't know that at the time, so.
That's true. Well, someone was working on an injured knee already.
Yeah.
Not always a good idea. But so we go off from that into one of the big attractions of the show, All Japan versus Noah, special 6-man tag match. Masa Kitamiya, Yoshiki Inamura, and Kinya Okada defeated Kento Miyahara, Yuma Anzai, and Ryo Inoue in 17 minutes and 41 seconds when Inamura used the Muso on Inoue. Paul, there's a lot to unpack in this match. I thought it was the best match of the show, actually.
I thought like all three, like the last three matches of this were like really good, and I'm actually kind of struggling to pick between them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this.
Well, I mean, I thought they were two, but I thought this was the best one.
Yeah. No, but like this was really good. Like that's also what I'm saying here. So and yeah, it's actually like another thing that I like noticed like with like the next match as well. It's just to me, it's like how much better all of these Noah guys look in All Japan.
Yeah.
Like Inamura looked like a genuine like monster here, like, and it was against guys that are like of similar size to him.
And well, they're taller than him.
Yeah, exactly. Like Kento's taller,
and he
than
still
him.
stands out.
Yuma as well. So
yeah.
So I thought it was just like I was really impressed with him in this one as well. But I think.
Well, I thought the star of the show was Ryo Inoue.
I was about to say I think we do need to talk about Ryo Inoue.
Yeah.
Or Little Kawada, or what if
Little
Minoru
K.
Suzuki?
Oh no, that's Kenta.
Yeah, or what if Minoru Suzuki joined Matt Blanky?
Yeah, so he's doing the yellow and black tights,
which is fine.
Which is fine, but his hair is now blonde with like black lines in it, and it just looks ridiculous.
It looks like there's construction going on in his head.
Yes, but I will say he was awesome in this match. I loved his exchanges with Okada, him going up against Inamura and like showing the fighting spirit. He just got madly over in this.
Yeah, no, so good.
I'd also like to see Anzai versus Inamura too, though.
Yeah, no, I think Anzai versus Inamura would be like a really fun match too. I think there's like pretty much everyone in this match. If they had a singles match against each other, I would be like, yeah, this is gonna roll. Like Kinya Okada versus Ryo in a way, just like those two just kicking the shit out of each other.
Yes, that would be pretty good too.
Yeah.
But after the match, it sounded like Masa was done with Kento.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this would be weird if we did all of this and it's just over with the 6-man, where like Kitamiya and Kento didn't even really like interact that much with each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's over, but it's going to be over until after the carnival.
Yes, I think maybe that might be where like they're putting it on hold while the carnival is going on. But actually, because you were talking about like Kento winning we were talking about Kento winning a GHC title. I mean, what could also be the thing where like Kento gets a partner and then he beats Masa for the tag titles.
Yep. Could be Anzai even.
Yeah. Or it could be Inamura.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Because
are you saying that Kento?
Yeah.
Are you saying that Kento like tempts Inamura and lures him over?
Yeah, and then because they did exchange like looks at the Noah show.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think hard to say, but whatever Kento's doing against the Noah guys is on hold for a bit.
Yeah, because you kind of have to, because you can't do anything while the carnival is going on.
No. And the Noah guy, well, we'll get to that in a minute.
And I mean, we know this will keep going just based on the result in the next match.
Yeah. for the World Tag Team Championship. Keno and Manabu Soya defeated Yuma Aoyagi and Naoya Nomura in 18 minutes and 56 seconds when Soya used a jumping DDT on Nomura, and they become, the champions fail on their V1 defense, and Keno and Manabu Soya become the 95th champions. Paul, I thought this was good but not great. I thought it was sort of meandering for a while, although the Yuma and Keno stuff was awesome. Just the way that they are just complete dicks to each other, and Yuma doing like Keno's like fist pose and everything. I thought the last few minutes were great though between Soya and Nomura. I just thought there was, I don't know, some spark missing in the whole match. I don't know how to describe it.
I don't know. I thought this was really good, and maybe that had something to do with Nomura already being injured. But I thought overall this was I thought the beginning of this was really good when like Keno and Yuma were just squaring off against each other during their intros. So I think that to me really helped the match. There was like a little bit of a lull in the middle, but I thought like the beginning was really good and I thought the ending was really good. So I thought overall this was I probably, like I said, I went for on like all three of these matches.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought this was, to me, this was a really strong match. And one thing that was noticeable to me, though, was how happy Keno and Soya were winning these titles. This is the happiest I've ever seen Keno. He was not this happy when he won the GHC heavyweight title.
Well, I mean, I think you got to sell that when you come into another company and win one of their titles.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you watch the video on the Keno channel he did afterwards?
I haven't.
Yeah, so he starts off the video just screaming into the camera while holding up the belts. And then he actually goes over the belts and kind of exposes how shitty they look because they're old and haven't been repaired in a while. But yeah, I mean, hey, look, if Keno wants to do something, he pays for a refurbishment of the belts. Don't get rid of them because they're amazing, but I think they need a few repairs.
Yeah, for sure. Then after the match, Suwama came out by himself, and then Keno sort of was dismissive, but then Keno said later he wanted to defend the belts first in Noah. So my question to you is, who is going with Suwama to Noah?
So you think it's Ashino?
I think it might be.
I mean, that is better than Suwama and Kono. Let's be honest here.
Oh, for sure. I don't love the booking just because of the way Shino gets booked, but it's probably for the best, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I like Ganyu of Anarchy, but the faction also weirdly fell apart.
Okay, and then it was announced, or there was a knee injury announcement confirmed on the All Japan website. Nomura tore his ACL.
Yeah. Just can't catch a break.
No. And he was working on an injured knee since December, apparently.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, if I had all of these health concerns and then the promotion finally starts to trust me again and put a title on me, wrestlers aren't very smart, you know?
No.
I kind of get why he did it, where he was probably no, maybe if I'll just work through it, it will get better, even though, well, that's not how knee injuries work, but yeah.
No, and I think if he was working on a busted knee, if you Google torn ACL, it's 6 to 9 months. He's going to be at least 9 months.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we're not. He's done for the year.
Yeah.
I mean, I might actually see his return match in January.
Maybe. Yeah. Hopefully. God, it's just awful for him. Oh man.
He would have had.
I
feel like he would have had a great carnival as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they'd set that up, him probably getting his win back over Soya.
Yeah. I think he actually would have had a chance of making the final.
I think that's very possible. Also, I hope this doesn't discourage him and he just retires.
Oh, God, no. Yeah.
Because, okay, well, you had a bad neck injury and now you've blown out a knee.
I mean,
although many wrestlers have returned from the torn ACLs and so
I mean, remember, Suwama literally tore his fucking Achilles, and it doesn't really seem it's affected him all that much.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he would have slowed down at his age anyway.
Exactly, yeah. So, and I mean, I don't think that Nomura wrestles a style where that also really heavily impacts him as well. I don't think he needs to change.
He needs his knees to do his explosiveness. Though.
Yeah,
I don't
true.
know.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see when he comes back.
see.
I mean, like at this,
Hopefully.
like an ACL injury these days is like something completely different from what it was like 20 years ago. Because 20
Sure.
years ago, that was basically like, oh, you're probably going to have
That
to retire.
ended a
and
curve
never
of
be.
professional athletes.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're pretty much done. Or if you're able to come back, you're basically a shadow of yourself. And now it's
And
like,
and if you tore your ACL and you were an NFL player, you'd have to go into pro wrestling or something.
yeah, basically that's like how like half the people in the 80s came into wrestling. Half the American wrestlers are just NFL players that tore the ACL.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like if he gets like good like treatment for it, I think he'll be fine. But yeah, the mental aspect here, I think, is the important one. And I don't know, but I also feel like actually Yuma is like, because Yuma, I think like the whole thing of like him going to basement and dragging him out of there is like kind of a shoot as well.
Oh, for sure.
So I feel like if Yuma is like still there, like supports him and everything, like I think he might be able to basically tell him like, look, man, I know this sucks, but we can do something when you come back and like see, like maybe give it one more try. Because I feel like if he then has like another like big injury soon after it, I think then he might be done. But I feel like he came back from that like big neck injury, so it would be a shame if he just retires now.
Absolutely.
Especially
He's
for
turning
something
30
that
this
like
year.
he can probably recover from pretty well given the right treatment.
And then next up for the Triple Crown, Yuji Nagata defeated Shuji Ishikawa in 25 minutes and 46 seconds with a backdrop hold to make his first successful defense of the title. Paul, I feel like when I watched this match, and I liked it, don't get me wrong, but I thought this was going to be divisive. And then I look at other people. I watched this live too. And I looked at other people's reaction, and it wasn't as divisive as I thought. But I thought, okay, it's these old guys. There was a little sloppiness, but God damn it, if they didn't kill each other, even if they were panting for like 5 minutes between spots.
Yeah. No,
And Shuji was gassed halfway through this.
God, yeah. They were both
But somehow they
ungodly
still-
gassed.
The only really sloppy spot was the Splash Mountain, but Shuji still managed to turn it into a respectable-looking sit-out powerbomb.
Yeah. No.
But Nagata took a Fire Thunder driver on the apron. He took a bunch of suplexes. Shuji took a top rope exploder. So yeah, I mean, they killed each other, especially if you consider that Nagata turns 55 next month and Shuji will be 48 in September, I think.
yeah.
So, I mean, if you really, really like, okay, both of these guys are probably better than Kenta is, right?
At this point, yeah. Which is weird.
Kenta has not had a match this good in a while. I mean, he had that.
That 6-man in
I feel-
Noah.
Right, but a singles match?
Oh, yeah, singles match, that's a bit longer, yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
No, but
I
like
did
this
like
was...
it.
No, I really like this as well. But I do love that their like solution to like, we have no stamina. Okay, let's just do fucking head drops on the apron to cover for that.
Oh, and there was headbutts, like shoot headbutts.
Yeah.
And when Paul in the VOW Discord after the match is like, I don't even know what to make of
No, I
this.
was like, what the fuck? Like, what was? I liked it, but it was also like legitimately there were like 5-minute like rest periods of both people just lying on the floor because they had just done a fucking superplex.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go about 4 stars on this.
No, it was like
But-
I said, like old
Yeah.
man violence.
Yeah, old man violence, but like be prepared to wait between spots.
Yeah. Like that like they literally took that as far as they could of like literally just like, let's do a big spot and then we both lie because then we both have an excuse to lie on the floor.
Now they could have tightened this up if they had shaved off 5 minutes.
But I also feel like they wanted to go a bit longer because it is a Triple Crown match. So I feel like actually going this long, this was like the best. Like, obviously the actual solution is to actually just go
Actually,
shorter.
there's no way they could. They probably couldn't have done 20 minutes and had as good a match because Ishikawa still would have been gassed.
True,
and they wouldn't have been able to do any spots because what Ishikawa was gassed in like 10, 12 minutes in.
Yeah.
Right? So they simply couldn't have done everything they did with less time because they were moving so slowly between spots.
Yeah. But like on the other hand, the advantage of Ishikawa just being so gassed was like then later on when they did like the chops and there's just sweat flying everywhere for Shuji Ishikawa, just made that look so much better.
Although there was a sequence in the middle where it was like or Yuji just had Ishikawa on the mat working over his legs, and that was like to fill up time in the middle.
But that was like literally just like the only time, and then otherwise it's just both of them just like throwing bombs constantly.
Yeah. Just like, it was pretty good. Once it settled, I was like, yeah, that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I was like, once it was over, I was like, I was
like, what the fuck was this?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what the fuck was this? I think this was great, but this was also one of the weirdest matches I've ever seen.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Shuji can still have a great match. If you put him in with a young guy, I still think he could have a great match.
If you keep it to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I see people say that like he's totally washed. I disagree.
No, he's not.
He picks his spots.
Kohei Sato is fully washed.
Yeah, Kohei Sato's fully washed.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you just watched like that run they had like last year as the Twin Towers, and if you're like coming away with that saying both of these are washed, it's like, no, one of these is very clearly much better than the other right now.
Yeah, I mean, some of Tsuji's best work recently has been just like beating the shit out of young guys, like the Hokuto match or the Yuma Anzai match.
Yeah, and I think that's
he's still good in tag teams.
Yeah, exactly. Like his team was
the Miracle tag team with Cyrus.
Yeah. So no, I think like obviously he can't go to the same degree he could like 10 years ago.
No,
but he can still turn it on when he needs to. Like
I was on Alan's 4L's podcast. We were talking about Yuji Okabayashi, and we were watching like Shuji Ishikawa versus Okabayashi matches from 2015, and like, holy shit, man.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I still think he can step up.
I mean, he still has my all-time favorite death match.
Which one?
The one against Abdullah.
Oh, really? That's your favorite? Okay.
I fucking love that match because it's just so fucking stupid. It's just like both are just like, okay, how about we just stand in the middle and we both eat glass and just slap each other in the face?
Yeah. And then after the match, all of the Triple Crown or the Champion Carnival participants except for Suwama and Ashino came out.
Yep.
And they all cut promos. And I was thinking Yuji Nagata was about to announce for the Carnival. But no, it's Manabu Soya is the other X. Yeah, I mean, not the biggest name, but I mean, he will be good. He's got history in All Japan.
Yeah.
I saw some people being like, oh, it's Soya. And like, no, actually, it makes perfect sense if you like take the long view.
Yeah.
I
was actually surprised because I thought he had done more, but this is only his second Carnival.
Really? Yeah, it's crazy. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, because he was in I think, 2015? Or even earlier than that, I think.
It would have to be earlier because he left in 2013.
He was in the... Real World. Where is he? The champion. 2012, yeah. So he was in the 2012 Carnival. Which, that's a very different promotion.
Yes.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know the field for that one?
Yes.
So it was won by Taiyo Kea.
Okay.
So the other participants were Akebono, which definitely couldn't do that these days. Daisuke Sekimoto, Kenzo, Manabu Soya, Kono, Ryota Hama, Seiya Sanada, Suwama. So I think he's like him and like Soya, the only two that are like in both of them. Takao Omori, well, he might be in there soon. Takumi Soya, which that's a name I haven't thought about in a while.
He was good.
He was,
it's a shame.
But yeah, injuries. Yuji Nagata, which is actually interesting. Yuji Okabayashi and Yutaka Yoshie.
That's a hell of a field, actually.
Yeah. And then Taiyo Kea wins.
Yeah. And who made it to the final with Kea?
The final was Taiyo Kea versus Suwama.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Allegedly drew 1,900 in Korakuen.
Yeah, probably drew okay. But not that many.
Yeah. The semifinals were Taiyo Kea defeats Yuji Nagata. I don't know if New Japan would allow that these days. And Suwama defeats Akebono in 8 minutes.
Well, I don't know. We should probably just do a full like carnival preview on the next episode.
No.
But okay, so who do you think could replace Soya or Nomura?
Yeah, because I can't really come up with anyone because it would need to be someone that has like a relatively free like calendar so that they could actually do it.
So here's some names I thought that seem most likely: Kuma Arashi, Koji Doi, and Ren Ayabe.
Yeah. All of those would be.
I think it would be. I think it would be awesome if they could get a big Japan guy, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, because like the one I was thinking of immediately is Takuya Nomura, because then you don't even need to change the signs because you can just leave Nomura on there. But he's tag champion, so don't think Big Japan is willing to like let him go for like a tournament where he probably needs to take a bunch of losses.
Nope.
Which is actually when like Kitamiya did the title defense, I actually realized.
You know, if you plugged him exactly into the booking that Nomura was going to get, he'd probably come out with a winning record and get a big win or two.
Yeah. So and he was like a regular there recently.
But the thing is, would Noah let Soya lose to him?
Yeah. So I don't feel like that gets complicated there, like politically.
Yeah.
Because that's actually the other thing where I realized that like it wasn't going to be Masa Kitamiya is when he defended his title. And I was like, well, Noah isn't going to let the tag champ be in a singles tournament.
No. And
Soya being in that block actually also like automatically excludes any Noah guy as a replacement. Like, for example, I was thinking like maybe like an Inamura, which would be awesome. But I don't think Noah wants to give away a Soya, like not that that's a protected match, but I still don't think Noah would want like an Inamura versus Soya singles match on an All Japan show.
I don't know. They don't protect Inamura.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I don't think you can rule Inamura out, but I don't think he's likely. And it could just be Takao Omori.
Yeah.
What about Hikaru Sato?
The junior.
I forgot.
Because I was thinking about Ryo Inoue as well, but no, he's in the junior tag league.
Yeah.
So like all of those guys are out.
Is there someone we're missing?
Masao Inoue.
I'm trying to think. Oh God. Then just put in Omori for the love of God.
Yeah, Omori is kind of the boring. Like the thing is though, does Omori really want to do it? Like it don't.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah. But it might be another situation like when Akiyama took himself out of the carnival and then also had to like come in on short notice because of an injury.
Yeah, but Omori is even more limited than Akiyama.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think he's good. Like Omori could have a great like 8-minute match.
Yeah. But it's definitely different.
If you start putting him in longer matches, it'll be a lot depending on the opponent.
Yeah. So I think maybe like if you can find like a freelancer that you can just plug in.
What about another great guy?
A great guy would be good, yeah. But again, I mean, you can just have him lose to Soya. Like, I don't think Great has an issue with that.
Great doesn't seem to protect their guy.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if there's bad blood between those companies or not.
I don't think there is. I don't think there's a reason for them to have bad blood.
Well,
because
Nosawa was involved.
But
yeah, Nosawa was involved originally too.
Well, but Lidet probably got a bunch of money. Like the whole reason Great exists is because they sold Noah to Cyberfight and probably made enough money to start another promotion off of that.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's bad blood there.
Yeah, I think maybe giving it to Renayabe would not be a bad idea.
What's Ayato Yoshida doing these days?
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Is he 2AW champion again?
Let's take a look. Yes.
So no.
Okay, yeah.
What about Kengo Mishimo?
Kengo Mishimo, yeah, that would be an option. I mean, that's kind of a boring option, yeah. But he lost the Real Japan Legend Championship, so he's not a champion at the moment.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see.
What about Ryoji Sai?
Oh, God, no. What about Daimonji So?
Yeah. What about Takanori Ito?
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're hyping ourselves up here, but I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be Omori because they can't book anyone else on this short notice.
Well, I don't know. Someone from one of the Kumadoi guys, I think, probably could do it.
Yeah, true. It's not like they're doing anything else.
I think them and Ren Ayabe would be the top three likeliest.
Ren Ayabe is like, if I want to like convince Ren Ayabe to come in full time to jump, I think putting him in the
it would be a
carnival
good. Putting him in the carnival is just good experience for him.
Yeah.
And he can lose everything, or
Yeah, I mean,
you can have him just get one win, or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like,
beat one of the Saitos or whoever.
Yeah.
Whatever Saito's in his block, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, we'll go to more detail, and we'll have our predictions for who's going to win in the next episode.
Yep.
But Paul, we have something that you brought up, and I think is a very interesting talking point in light of the events we talked about today on the show. What if Cyberfight had bought All Japan instead of Noah? And I thought about this yesterday and today, Paul, but you go first since you brought the question up.
Yeah. So because to me, this is like a really interesting like thought experiment, just based on like, if you just look at like the shows these two just had and just the difference in like energy between the two promotions and like the difference in like means between the two promotions. Because Noah has like basically like, not actually, but like for all intents and purposes, like unlimited money. So they could like in theory do whatever they want, and instead they like struggle to like draw in the Yokohama, like in the Yokohama Budokan, whereas All Japan just does like a pretty decent number in Ota Ward with like basically a fraction of the budget that Noah has. So because to me, like the way like those two promotions were structured, I think like actually because like assuming that like almost everything else stays the same. So like All Japan gets bought by Cyberfight, and then they bring in all of the like Muto and all of those guys in as well. I feel like Suwama and Kento don't allow Muto to pull the same shit that the Noah guys allowed Muto to pull in Noah. Because they're both familiar with it already, for one. I think that kind of helps it. Because both Suwama and Kento are like familiar with Muto's bullshit. And obviously Kento is like a much more like he pushes back. Like he isn't just going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to lose to you, and then I'm going to lose to you again, and then we're going to draw, and then maybe then at some point I'll beat you. Like Kento also has like enough pull as well to just basically be like, yeah, okay, you can beat me once, but then I'll beat you like immediately, like the next time.
Yeah. I think though the old guys come in, Muto comes in, Akiyama's brought back up the card.
Yeah.
Because Akiyama still would have been in the company at the time, right? And he's also another factor, yes, because he comes in because Cyberfight can afford him.
Oh, yeah. True, yeah, and then he never goes to DDP.
So Akiyama also can push back against the Muto bullshit.
Yeah. Like that promotion's just much better like insulated against that.
Yes. Now the question is though, do you get Hideki and Fujita?
I don't think.
And the shooters.
I think Hideki comes in. I don't think All Japan wants anything to do with Fujita.
Yes, because that infamous Fujita and Suwama thing.
Yeah.
On the Tenryu retirement show.
Yeah.
Because Fujita was going to come into All Japan at that time, but they kiboshed that.
Yeah. So, and I think, like, I don't think I've ever heard anything that those two, like, in any way, shape, or form like each other.
But does Hideki come in? Because who brings Hideki in? Is it Sugera?
I mean...
Is it Fujita?
I don't know who brought in Hideki. I mean, he isn't Sugera-gun, but... Yeah, who knows? I mean, but let's just presume it was Muto that was involved in that for some reason. And then he comes in as well. But I think, like, Hideki, like, I don't mind Hideki, like, from what he's done in his Noah run, because he has actually been willing to, like...
Oh, no, I have enjoyed it, yes, absolutely. He's been great.
So, like,
I just don't know if Hideki comes into All Japan
yeah,
without, like, the shooters having influence.
Yeah, true.
Or more influence.
Yeah, true. He might still end up in Noah.
Yeah, and you don't need Hideki. But here's the thing, though, is that when Cyberfight buys it, okay, so you've got Kento as the ace, and that solves your problem. You've got Suwama and Jun Akiyama. Say what you want about Suwama, but he can be a main eventer. You bring Jun Akiyama back up the card. You have Muto. I assume Muto's coming in. that All Japan roster that you inherit in late 2019, early 2020 or whatever, is a lot thinner than it is today, and a lot thinner than Noah was at that time. So a bunch of people are being brought in. So who does come in?
I mean, who is like a notable? I mean, the other thing as well is like what actually happens to Noah if they don't get bought by Cyberfight.
I'm sorry. Well, yeah. Wrestle One goes under.
Yeah.
They could have brought in like the entire Wrestle One roster.
Yeah, like all of them. Like not just. Like,
yeah.
You could probably like give Jiro like the amount of money that makes him rethink of going to like WWE.
Oh, I don't care about Jiro, but you get Ashino. You get Ashino, you get Kumadoi, you get Kodama, but you get Inaba, you get Ito, you get Watanabe. I think
you get Manabu Soya.
You get Manabu Soya, Alejandro, and you probably get Alejandro's brother.
Yeah.
Kai Fujimura. I think what happens is you get Muto, of course, right? So it's basically Wrestle One just comes into All Japan, and maybe there's a few other signees, possibly older guys.
Yeah.
But the biggest factor really is Kento, because Noah lacked that all-star ace that could draw. Kind of was Go.
Yeah, but that was still like different as well.
Yeah. But you still have the pandemic, but I mean, that didn't really do anything to Cyberfight's plans, I would say.
Yeah. You also get who was under the Pegaso Illumina mask? It's now in gray.
Oh, it was Watanabe.
Oh yeah, Watanabe. Yeah, so you get Watanabe as well.
And Jun Tancho and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, but here's the thing, Paul. What happens to Tajiri in this scenario?
I don't think he's not. Is he? He's in, right? Yeah, he is in, but he's not in like a position of power yet.
Is he not? Oh, yes, because Akiyama then resigns.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but for all we know, Tajiri leaves. Who knows? Because remember, he might have bad blood with Muto from Wrestle One.
Yeah, because to me it was notable that he wasn't in the Muta retirement match when like there was actually like a lot of like storylines with like Tajiri and Muta.
Yeah. So Tajiri might leave, which means no Super Crazy.
Which is also positive.
And Nosawa was already in Noah, right? Before Cyberfight bought it.
Yeah. Because he was an actual executive of Lidat.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why.
And that's why he was running.
Yeah.
And he was originally on like the executive board of Grade.
Yeah.
Now, Paul, does this Cyberfight owned All Japan start sort of grabbing guys from Noah?
Because that's the thing. Because if Cyberfight doesn't buy Noah, like then Noah's financials look pretty bleak. There's an actual decent chance that Noah goes under.
I think so.
So in that
remember,
case,
All Japan survived because of that movie investment.
Yeah.
And Wrestle One was the big casualty. But if Big Japan survived, I don't think you can completely.
No, you can completely
rule out.
It might also be that Noah would have to like trim some fat as well.
Yeah, but they'd be like firing the Rattel guys, or like just keeping like Katoge and Harada or something.
Yeah, but like those were cheap. Like that's the whole reason they brought them in the first place. Like I could actually see in that case, like someone like Kano could leave.
Kano would leave, but I don't see them dropping like Sugiura or Marufuji or like the legacy talent.
No, but I could see like someone like Nakajima or Kano leaving.
Well, does Nakajima go back?
Nakajima
and Kento had Nakajima and Kento reconciled at that point?
Yeah, who knows? Like that's the other thing.
Masa
like maybe
Kitamiya?
At that point, Masa Kitamiya is actually another one that I could see like going to All Japan.
Maybe even Go leaves if they cut everyone's pay.
Yeah.
And Go comes back to All Japan.
But does he then have that same thing where he like puts everything together and finally like fulfills his potential?
I don't know, because I feel like Cyberfight would be running with Kento and Muto.
Yeah. Because they would do like a big show. They would do like a big like sumo hall show or something with those two on top.
Well, Paul, this also brings me to the next question: is at Cyberfight Festival, do we get Suwama versus Denshuko Dino?
I mean, sure, why not? But okay, yeah. But how about this one? And like just based on Suwama's willingness of selling for like the women, how about Suwama versus Saki Akai?
Yeah, that could actually be.
That
good.
actually would be a really good match.
Now, Paul, Suwama has generally sold for like, well, he sold for Unagi Sayaka.
Yeah.
But he also sold for like you and Chihiro Hashimoto, who are like, rough and tumble wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Paul, would Suwama be selling for Yuka Sakazaki?
Okay, wait. How tiny is she actually? Because she's even tinier than like Chihiro.
150 centimeters, maybe? I don't know.
She is 158.
Oh, it's taller than I thought.
Yeah, and 58 kilos. Which is like, I think, which is a third of Suwama, I think. I think less.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's funny just to think about it. But I mean, Suwama clearly has probably been interested in women's wrestling for some time. Yeah. So what, does he start doing mixed tags with the Tokyo Joshi girls?
I mean, hey, I would be all in favor of that.
I mean, it would be different if it was like Suwama and Miyu Yamashita or something.
Oh, God. Actually. I mean, maybe they're going to do that one anyway, but that would be really cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
there's
like, certain beats.
Yeah, I think the whole...
Muto's coming...
Go ahead.
Yeah, Muto comes in, but obviously Suwama, Kento, and Akiyama would probably sort of buffer the bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I feel like as well. Like, I don't think this whole thing goes down the same way. Like, there's just like... No. Because I think like Suwama, Akiyama, and Kento also would like stick together against Muto. And I feel like Muto was really good at basically just divide and conquering the entire Noah locker room.
Well, Noah was also in much more dire shape in 2019 than All Japan was.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's what happens, right? And I think that's the scenario.
Yeah.
But Noah could go under, which is interesting to think about. Wrestle One definitely goes under, and that becomes like the main sort of place to grab more talent to fill out the mid card.
Yeah. I feel like there's also like maybe like some other like Wrestle One. Like maybe they actually switch like the people that come into which promotion at that point. Where like Cino goes to Noah, which probably is better for him. Like I feel like he would like even regardless, like I feel like if he had come into Noah, I feel like he might have been a champion already.
Yeah, that's very possible, especially in a like a still Ledette run Noah.
Yeah. And I feel like he would have put over Kaito.
Yeah. Well, they still had Kaito. Noah would still have Kaito at this point.
Exactly.
So.
Like that's the thing. Like, and that's like an interesting scenario where like you actually would have to like organically like build Kaito as a draw instead of doing whatever it is they tried to do here, which didn't work.
No, it did not. But that was actually fun. I've actually never thought of that scenario, but it's really interesting. And yeah, I think the dynamics backstage would be a lot different.
Yeah.
And probably in some... I don't want to make a sweeping statement, but I think it could have been pulled off more successfully because people would have pushed back against the bullshit.
Yeah, I actually wonder like how many people they would have put on like Ota Ward for this show. Like if like the like stuff kind of like stays broadly the same, and this is still like an Ota Ward show from All Japan.
Okay, but here's another thing though I just thought about. Akiyama has been noticeable his absence from Noah since joining DDT.
Yeah.
Does Akiyama bolt from All Japan if Muto comes in? Or does he cannot turn down that paycheck from Cyberfight?
I mean, he could still go to DDT. They could still do the same transfer thing they did anyway, where he just ends up in DDT anyway. Like, he still gets the Cyberfight paycheck, but he just does the same switch that happened anyway.
That's true, too.
Because I feel like the reason he left All Japan, like, A, yes, it's the paycheck, but also B, like, after the Aoki death, I think he just needed a change of scenery.
Yes, I agree.
So I think that's still, like, assuming that still happens, unfortunately. Which, if it's 2019, yes, no, that's afterwards. So, yeah. So, I feel like he's still probably, even if that sale happens, I think it might make it even easier because they did the whole weird thing where he like went on loan to DDT to do like the soft jump basically, where they can just basically just straight up be like, oh yeah, he's just switching within like Cyberfight and he just goes to DDT. So I feel like that actually might not change.
Yeah, depending if Akiyama just detests Muto. I just feel like he hasn't been around Noah, so it's entirely possible.
Yeah, he also wasn't on the retirement show.
Right. And even though, Muto treated Akiyama well when Akiyama came into All Japan.
Yeah.
And then he got that long Triple Crown reign, still as a Noah wrestler, and Muto put him over and everything like that. So
I mean,
I don't know, but
yeah, maybe they just really clashed as like people.
Yeah, and he probably knows Muto's full of bullshit too.
Yes,
regardless, right? So, yeah, I think Akiyama's is an X factor, but I mean, a united front of Akiyama, Suwama, and Kento probably could be more effective than whatever happened to Noah to keep Muto in line.
Because like presumably, maybe Muto would have tried to do the same thing he did with Kaito, with Yuma. But I feel like there's like people in All Japan that would have been like
because Yuma would. But here's the thing: Yuma was not in that position where they had like Yuma would not be the Triple Crown champion.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and so it's less disastrous even if it happens.
Exactly. Like that's what I mean. That's also the point I was trying to bring across earlier as well. Was like the whole thing where the whole discourse about Kaito was the way it was because he was already like a year-long champion. Whereas if just Muto comes in and he beats Yuma Aoyagi, who hasn't done anything at that point, like that doesn't really matter or like will have any kind of long-term effect on Yuma Aoyagi. And it also become a thing where like Yuma desperately needs to get his win back to like not look like a geek. Like it's just like he just got beat by this legend. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. And what do you think happens to Jake Lee in all of this?
Oh, I feel like he gets pushed down the card sooner.
Well, because Tajiri was his guy, right?
And it's also if there's like other people that you could push to the main event that you bring in through this.
Well, Muto,
but maybe also like other guys you might like if you pick up like a Keno.
And let's say Akiyama comes back up the card.
Yeah, and you pick up like a Keno who had to like leave Noah because they were like cutting salary,
or any of the Wrestle One guys who are better workers than him, like
So like
not that there were many.
Yeah, but like still, it feels like. And it's also like because I think some of the Wrestle One guys might have been treated better just simply because they're kind of like Muto's guys to some degree at least.
Yeah, they're Muto adjacent.
Yeah. I mean, not that really helped Daiki Inaba, but...
No.
But still, like, there's at least, like, I feel like Jake... Like there isn't the same degree of, like, need for All Japan to actually make Jake work.
No.
Like... to just desperately try and force it to try and make it happen and just constantly do like his stables and all of that. And he just basically just becomes what he's probably long-term going to become in Noah and what he was on the trajectory to become in All Japan, which is an upper mid-card gatekeeper, which I think is the ideal role for him.
When does Kai join Dragon Gate or start working Dragon Gate?
That is earlier. I think that's because... Does that even...
Because Kai is in All Japan. Kai's in All Japan early in the pandemic.
Yes.
Remember because the clown face tag team.
He starts working there in 2018 already. Yeah, 2018 he starts working there. Yes,
in
7 matches in Dragon Gate at the end of 2018, and then I think
under a Cyberfight All Japan, and given that he was in All Japan. On and off in 2019 and in 2020, he might just end up joining All Japan too.
Yeah. That might also be a thing where he just...
Because that's probably a bigger paycheck than...
Dragon Gate,
Yeah.
So that's another guy where like it would be interesting to see if he actually was like able to rebuild his career in the same way, the way he did in Dragon Gate.
Yep, for sure. Well, I mean, Muto might give him help with that.
I don't know.
So who knows?
Muto's the guy that booked him to become a fucking Onita cosplayer. Doing jumping jacks.
Wasn't it Dean Ambrose?
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever. It was Jumping Jacks Kai, which was the absolute nadir of his career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Took him years to recover from that.
Yeah. Actually, that was a fun little hypothetical because it's like, well, what are the dynamics of all of this, right? And I still maintain to this day, I hope All Japan gets purchased by some sort of large corporation.
Come on, LAC, you know you actually want a promotion. I know you just want to.
Yeah, why don't you actually want a real promotion?
Yeah, exactly.
To like hawk your towels in. You can have LAC branded towels on every show.
And look, if you don't want to like put up all of the money, you just go and talk to the carbell guy, and then you do like, I don't know, you do like a fucking 66-33 split. You buy 66%, carbell puts up 33% of the money, and then you just go from there.
Oh, it can't be that much to buy the company.
Exactly, like so.
But you'd be willing to have to invest.
Yeah.
Over like 5 years or something, or several years.
But like the roster is there to just like especially right now. Right now, the roster is there.
Right now, yes. But if you had money, you would at least want to lock up like Kumadoy.
Yeah.
And you'd want to add a few guys. Like, I mean, there's, I don't know who, and have the money to be like, oh, I want Yankee 2 Kenju on every Korakuen show or something like that to add depth to the card. Stuff like that. Maybe steal some people from Big Japan.
And also be able to like pay all of your young stars to such a degree that you're not going to have to be afraid that one of them leaves.
Well, I mean, Paul, if Cyberfight's coming after Kento, it would not shock me.
Oh, yeah. They should. Like, this would be the best play for them here.
Yeah. And Nakajima would just have to shut up.
Yeah, and I really hope that Yuma is ready when that happens.
Well, yeah. I mean, Cyberfight might as well just buy the whole company.
They're gonna have.
I don't know if that
free brands.
Well,
or are they just merging Noah and All Japan in that case?
They're just merging Noah and All Japan in that case, I think.
Which name do you keep? I mean, it's highly ironic if that were to happen.
Yeah, well, the circle is complete.
Yeah, it really is. The arc is coming back home.
That's an interesting question. What has more name value?
It's All Japan.
Yes. And the thing is, like, not just several years ago, All Japan was still larger than Noah.
Yeah.
But this isn't like the bad years of Noah.
But I mean, yeah, you literally could do this as like the arc is coming home, like.
But the younger you are, like Noah might have as much cachet or more than All Japan.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get those 50-year-olds, then yeah, All Japan. Right? Mm-hmm. But aren't you trying to cultivate a younger fan base?
Yeah. I mean, or do you just do like the fucking WWE thing? You just like have a brand split, but it's kind of the same company.
I don't know. I would assume you'd make a quadruple crown. But...
I mean, you definitely do some refurbishment of the belts because that's needed.
Yeah. All right. I think that was a good trip into the what ifs and everything like that. So we'll be back with a Champion Carnival preview sooner rather than later. And so for Paul Voss, I'm Gerard Trollo, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hola, hola, my name is Ricardo. I am the host of the Lucha Jovers podcast here in the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. We are a Spanish-speaking show dedicated to discussing and analyzing pro wrestling from all across the world. From AEW to CMLL, we talk about American wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and of course, Lucha Libre. If something big happened in the pro wrestling world, we will talk about it. So if you know Spanish or have a friend that knows Spanish or want to practice your Lucha Libre pronunciations, go listen to the Lucha Jovers podcast right here in the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. Nos vemos por ahí.
Hey kids, do you like wrestling? Well, we like wrestling too. We are Shake Them Ropes here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Myself and Chris Novembrino kind of doing a lazy river of wrestling criticism, going through the news and whatever happened in stateside television wrestling. And also, you know what? Sometimes we just like to watch old stuff and talk about that too. Love for you to give us a listen. If you haven't already, we are Shake Them Ropes here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.